Welcome to the ultimate Manchester rebuild. Manchester United versus Manchester City, with some of the new signings going head-to-head, 10 years each, seeing exactly who comes out on top in Manchester. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe, but as always, if you want to see another head-to-head, let me know in the comments. Let's get into it. What happens when you rebuild Manchester City over 10 years without Kevin De Bruyne? That's right, he's off to Napoli, and we're ripping this team apart to build something even greater. We're bringing in future superstars, Rayan Cherki, Ait-Nouri and Tajani Reinders, three massive talents who could define a new era. And yes, we're using that pep tactic we broke down on the main channel yesterday. But trust me, without De Bruyne, this will not be easy. The goal? Not just to win, we're building the most dominant team in football history. Fun fact, Man City's original name was Ardwick AFC, but today we're going to rewrite their future. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Let's get into it. So then, it's quite safe to say I'm excited today because we are going to get a chance to see a bit of Man City's future. Now, first of all, this rebuild obviously is different to any other rebuild. We already are at a great stage in footballing history, but I will go over and say they've got a couple of downsides at the moment. De Bruyne's going, Grealish probably is going to be looking to go, Walker's going to go permanently somewhere. Even didn't enjoy the great season this year, did they really? So they're not in the best of best places compared to their usual standards, but of course, they're a step up on rebuilding like a Birmingham. So today it's more about how many trophies can win, but the same importance is actually what does the next decade look like for Man City. And today I'm hoping we can get a bit of a look at that. So do stick around because we're going to be bringing in several different faces. And also, speaking of new faces, we have done some of the transfers in the game. So we are going to welcome in 3 new faces into the first season. For the first time in a long time, this channel will have a first transfer window. Now, in terms of the reputation, training, youth and youth recruitment, it is completely flawless. We are Manchester City. The owners love the club and the money is absolutely mental. Now, I will go over and say right away, the players that we have brought in, we did obviously mention in the intro, we are going to go and talk about them in a second. Here they are. So the first one is going to be this man, the former AC Milan, of course, a very, very strong player. I have used the editor to bring him here, same as Cherki, same as Ait-Nouri, same as De Bruyne even, because I'm unsure on the actual fee these players went for. So they are going to be here, but this is part of the actual challenge. So I will go over and say one thing. I think this man is an absolute pickup. I think he's going to be a great player for Man City. I really think he's good for their midfield. They actually have got a couple of older midfielders now, the likes of Gundogan, Kovacic, those sorts of players. Obviously, Calvin Phillips has got to go somewhere as well. I know in this rebuild, he will definitely be gone somewhere. He's still quite young, but Rodri is 27 even. I mean, it's not old, but, you know, bringing in players, you know, that are, for example, 3 years younger is a good idea to prepare for that next future generation. And I think him and Rodri will work really, really well, and he will be occupying that Roman playmaker role. Now, the next player is an interesting one. It's going to be Rayan Cherki. Some people love him, some people don't like him, some people think he's good, some people don't. I think he's quite a good player. Now, in this game, he's a Sky Bet Championship player. I will be forced to lock him in to even see what he can do. So I'm going to do maybe 2 seasons of him being locked in. Then he will have to fight for his main position. Now, realistically, I think this guy is a good pickup. He's very technical on the ball. He's a typical what I like to call a Pep Guardiola player. Good ability on the ball, just good movement, and just got that, you know, that attack and danger that I think they probably need, to be honest with you. Man City still are in a great position. Let me tell you that for free. But last season, they were not the team they once were, and I think it is needed to bring in some new faces. And speaking of the last new face, the bargain of the season potentially, Rayan Ait-Nouri, the price tag I've seen rumoured for him is an absolute joke in a good way. Such a good left back, and I tell you what, perfect for Pep, can play the inverted role, a very, very good option, and in the game it's an added bonus for me because he naturally is quite good. And what a lot of people aren't actually clocking onto right now is the fact of Gvardiol can play centre-back for Man City, so you potentially can have Gvardiol there and Ait-Nouri there, which will be the plan for me. Now, obviously, Kyle Walker is not going to be in the team, so we are going to reintroduce Rico Lewis. And I mean, on paper, looking at it, to be honest, what we're probably going to do is going to play a team somewhat like this. So we'll lock in Cherki for the first 2 seasons, so this is probably going to be our first team. Ederson, Lewis, Diaz, Gvardiol, Ait-Nouri, Rodri, Reinders, Cherki, Foden, Doku and Erling Haaland. pretty decent team, right? I want to say it's a pretty decent team. Of course, on the bench, you've got the likes of Marmouche. What a player he has turned out to be. Considering they paid what? I don't actually know how much they actually paid for him, but however much they paid for him, don't question it, because the guy is an absolute monster. John Stones, I'm probably going to move on in this rebuild at some point. Same with Gundogan, definitely the same with Grealish, same with Kovacic. Potentially the same with Nunes, although I've got a bit of a soft spot for Nunes. I quite like him. Oscar Bob, I'll try and keep around. Savinho, I really like. Bernardo Silva, I will keep until we get a ridiculous money fee. Then he can move to like a Barca or a Madrid or something like that in this game where he usually goes. Ake Gonzalez is a pretty decent backup DM, and of course very young, so maybe someone for the future. Phillips can go, Carson can go, Kabore can go. Yeah, I think that's pretty much the plan. So, right off the bat, this is a different vibe rebuild. We've got a decent team, but this is not about can we win, it's how much we can win, and what does the team look like after a decade. So, there is a good reason to stick around, because I think after a decade, we're going to be seeing quite a different Man City team. And also, we've got that element of like, are these transfers going to work out? For example, down the line, are we going to see Serki not get any game time after 2-3 years? He moves to a mid-table Premier League team, because I will let it happen. I'm going to let the transfers play themselves out. Now, in that first season, we are playing in 1, 2, 3, 4... Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 competitions. So, realistically, it's a whole lot of football to be played, but we're Man City. If we don't win the Premier League like they didn't in real life, and we don't win the Champions League, we might be doing something wrong. So I am hoping we can at least win. I'm going to go ambitious here. 4 out of the 7 trophies in this first season. We've lost Ederson. Not Ederson. We are going to lose Ederson down the line. Let me tell you that. But we are going to lose De Bruyne. We've lost him. Obviously, Jan Kuto I do want to quickly talk about as well. Just very, very quickly. Because he will come back into the team. Because I think he's a really good wing-back. But this new lease of players, for example, if you're playing back home, you probably wouldn't lock in a 2-star ability player. That's what I'm going to do. Rangers, you know, you might lock in someone different, for example. So we've not got necessarily our best 11 out, although that feels criminal saying that. We've got a decent situation, and obviously money-wise, if you are playing back home, you would have had £88 million. So you're good to go. And again, at any part of this video, you want to get this tactic, you want to get the rebuild file and all of these perks. There is currently over 200 tactics, about 90 rebuild files. You get ad-free viewing, which is really good on these rebuilds as well. Make sure you come and check out the Patreon right now as we look to close in on 6,000 members. Let's get into season 1. Right, so we are going to win the Premier League in Season 1, which is quite good because we are right off to a good start in this repairment of this Man City team. Of course, winning the Premier League has been somewhat of an expectation for them over the past few years. We are finally back on top, and we've done it quite closely with Liverpool, to be honest. Only 6 points behind, so still, we have got work to do to become a clear dominant team. A dominant team for me is, you know, 100 points plus, getting the job done, maybe going invincible, and with the facilities we've got at Man City, we can make that happen. Serki, the top assister. Man City fans, get excited. Phil Foden in 3rd place. Ederson in 2nd place. Erling Haaland, obviously your top goal scorer. That's good, but I want more than one trophy. I'm going selfish. The UEFA Super Cup against Sevilla, and it is going to be a great ball in from Serki there, and it is going to be a goal, I believe, from Rodri to go 1-0 up as we look to finalise this game as we do in the 77th minute with Bernardo Silva down the right-hand side. Plenty of space into Reinders, the new man. Plenty of space, and he gets his goal. Beautiful. What a win. But apart from that, we've got room for improvement because we actually finish not even anywhere near out of the Champions League group phase. We then get knocked out in the quarter-finals against Bayer Leverkusen on penalties, which is a pretty big shock. The FA Cup, we are going to lose 2-0 in. The positive, we do get to the final. Runners-up in the Community Shield, we lose to Manchester United. And as for the Carabao Cup, we are going to lose 5-3 against Arsenal. So this is an eye-opener because we still have won the Premier League, we've won the Super Cup, but this is actually quite good because it's not like we've come in and won 7 trophies in Season 1. We still have got to rebuild this team into a trophy-winning machine. So let's just go and understand what the players actually done for us before we start to nitpick at what we need to improve. So in terms of Serki, 10 and 29. Now he was locked in for every game. Now, he didn't play every game, but he would have played a lot of games. The same as 8 Nori with 1 and 6. If we put in the best 11, neither of them stay in the team. So both of them are going to have an additional season to be locked in. They are also being trained. Kyle Walker had a great season out on loan, but I am not interested in keeping him. So we are going to go ahead and just put Rico Lewis back there. And we will drag in this man, who's unfortunately injured for 12 days to 4 weeks. Not ideal. Diaz will play Guvardiol there as we did, and we'll bring it back in 8 Nori. So we've got a decent performance out of both of the centre-backs, to be honest. Guvardiol a little bit stronger than Ruben Diaz. 8 Nori had a great time there. This man, the former Milan man, he done okay but not great. Now it is his first season in this actual league, let's just say that. And to be honest with you, is it his best role? It probably is up there with his best role, so the guy just needs time. Rodri had a stellar season. Bernardo Silva also had a good season, considering he was locked out of that main position he likes. Phil Foden, immaculate through the middle. Savinho had a good season. 67 and 9 from Haaland. I mean, you just come to expect it from him. The guy is an absolute menace. The guy is just an absolute bagsman in real life and in the game. Serki, as we mentioned, 10 and 29. Grealish, 5 and 7. Akanji, 1 and 2. Kovacic, 6 and 6. Doku, 8 and 5. That's good to see as well. Yan Kuto had a great season, 6 and 8, which is quite good for us because we actually want him back into the team to go alongside of Rico Lewis. So that's a big addition to us. John Stones also done fairly well. Marmoush didn't get too much game time, but he's a player that I will never look to move on because he's just such a good player to bring on when you need him. And looking at it, it's not a bad season in the Premier League. We've got to be pretty reserved about that, okay? And the European stuff, that's the big disappointment. For the rest of it, it's a cup final, 2 cup finals here, you know. If they go our way, I probably wouldn't question this season as much. So I'm going to keep quite a level head just for this season. We have got a total of, oh wow, we've got 356 million to go and spend if we want to. I'm going to do my best not to go and spend it all on, you know, Vinicius, Rodrigo, Mbappe, Bellingham. We're going to try and avoid signing, you know, the potential Ballon d'Or winners and go more down a realistic path. That doesn't mean we won't sign, like, you know, a world-class player, but realistically, are we getting Mbappe or Vinicius? I highly doubt it. Q Season 2. Right, Kyle Walker is going to get his move to the Saudi League on 700k a week. That's some retirement plan, let me tell you that. But looking at him, he goes there and actually plays quite a fair few games. And gets an assist in 50% of the games he plays, which is absolutely remarkable, to be fair to him. He's still got a lot of pace, but it's sensible to move him on when you can get something for him, because I keep him for one more season. He doesn't play, he goes for free. John Stones, the man that once was Pep Guardiola's star boy at the back, not really much any longer. So he is going to go to the Saudi League, and he's just going to be able to survive on £1 million a week. £1 million a week for John Stones, and we get 56 million. So that quite extortionate price we paid for him back in the day, we have actually turned a profit on that, and he's got 16 assists. So I reckon he was playing at right back potentially, because to get 16 assists from centre back is some stat line. But with that sort of money, we can afford to bring in anyone else that we might need to, and it just offloads an older player that isn't guaranteed football anymore, sadly. We've kept it bold because you can see a load of other players here going out on loan, stuff like that. We have signed no one. So I'm not going to have this, oh, you only go and sign Vinicius sort of hype. We are signing no players because I thought, do you know what? We signed 3 players at the start of the video, right? That's a luxury in itself. But this now might come back to bite me. But to be honest, I ended up having about 400 million. I think that would kill the video quite quickly if I signed 400 mil worth of players in Season 2. Yeah, and I may have paid the price because Liverpool are going to be Premier League champions. Now, obviously, we can bail ourselves out if we win everything else. That will kind of balance the books out a little bit for me. But One thing I will say, Serki has been incredibly consistent again. The second most assists, behind Bernardo Silva. Phil Foden is flying, as is Erling Haaland. The goalkeeper not in the clean sheets on this occasion, which is quite annoying to see because he should be up there in my opinion. But maybe we sold a centre-back. Did we not have the best backline? Were there injuries? All of this sort of stuff could happen. That could have played a part. Right into the round of 16 of the Champions League, and we are going to get past Marseille 8-3. Absolute dominance. Moving on to the quarterfinals, we are going to blitz Real Madrid 5-1. We have got a real chip on our shoulder from not winning that Premier League title. We are out for everyone. When it comes to the semi-finals, we're going to go and absolutely humiliate a team that has been humiliated recently in the Champions League, AC Milan. And we are playing Barcelona for the biggest prize of them all. Let's get into it. And we start that final after a very, very motivational speech in the worst way possible. We are going to go 1-0 down inside of 18 minutes from nothing what can be described as a great goal, to be fair to them. But we're Man City. We know what we can do. We have got some of the best players in the world, one of the best tactics, and we have got the mentality to make things happen. And when Barcelona are wrapping up a gift like that, we're going to take advantage. And we're going to go into the second half all tied up at 1-1. Rico Lewis, about 50 seconds into the second half, down the right-hand side, into Serki, beats Cucurella down the right-hand side, cuts it across, and that is going to be a glimpse of potentially what City fans can look forward to. A great start from Serki there, and he goes again, cutting inside, plenty of space. Carry on, look at this. It's absolutely beautiful from Serki. He's going to go through, and that is a statement. Champions League 1. We've also gone on to win the actual FA Cup. I say the actual FA Cup like it's a miracle. The FA Cup against Leicester. So a bit of an easier final, but I'm not going to complain. Carabao Cup, it would have been super nice to win, but sadly we miss out by this much. A 1-0 loss against Liverpool. And to wrap things up, the Community Shield, we are going to take home 4-2 over Liverpool. So it is still a very, very strong season. Despite not winning the Premier League, Champions League, FA Cup, Community Shield, I am going to take because they're free trophies that, you know, we are going to need at the end of the day. It's nice to be back on top in the Champions League. And I tell you what, being on top, Serki, 12 and 36. We got to see so much of what he can do in that game. I'm so glad we actually got to watch the highlights of that because the guy can be a danger. He cuts in so well here, gets into different areas, and he done such a good job for the second goal and the third goal. And if he plays a fraction well for Man City in real life, you're going to be loving him. Now, the overall team done a great job, guys, okay? This is without any new signings, obviously, from last season as well. We stuck with some of what we had, including the 3 new transfers. And Rico Lewis, 9 and 9. I mean, Gvardiol, where is 8 Nori? How did he do? 5 and 11. Really good from him. Gundogan, 3 and 7. Rodri, 17 and 15. Where is Reinders? 3 and 1. So, still not playing that well to be. He's playing well in terms of rating, but not returning that much in terms of stats. Bernardo Silva, 18 and 36. Very good. Foden 14 and 20, and Haaland, the only time I've seen this is in a nap tactic on the FM Scout channel, gets over 100 goals in a season. Now you've got to bear in mind, we got to a lot of latter stages in competitions, so we can stat pad for fun. That is one thing you've got to bear in mind. Every season, that probably won't be happening, but it's also Erling Haaland, so it might be. On the bench, Grealish 5 and 6, Doku 2 and 2, Gvardiol 2 and 4, Gundogan 3 and 7, Serki 12 and 36. But we are now going to talk through plans for the future. What players are going to be transfer listed right now? First off, we are going to go with Jack Grealish. We are then going to go with Kovacic. We are then going to go with Gundogan. We are then going to go with Kabore. We are then going to go with this man here, McAtee, I believe is how you say that. Calvin Phillips, we are also going to transfer list, and I love the guy to bits, but Nunes also is going to be transfer listed, and also Ortega. So we are going to have a lot of business potentially going out, and if we sell 50% of those players, I will be forced to spend big to replace them. Now, in terms of players in the dev centre, Callum Doyle is in there. I know he exists. Don't worry, I'm keeping an eye on him just to see how he develops. If he plays quite well, I will consider getting him in the team. But right now, it's way too soon. In terms of next season, money, finance, we have got a budget of £483 million with very little debt. Now, of course, we didn't spend a penny last season. We generated like 50 million, and we have just won the Champions League and other competitions. So we have got endless money to go and spend. I don't want to go and spend £500 million in one window, but of course, if we lose players, I will go and spend money. Pretty straightforward. I'm quite annoyed here because I offered Jan Couto about a 25% pay rise and he still didn't want to stay. Now, he would have got game time with Rico Lewis. Rico Lewis isn't guaranteed every minute on the pitch, but Jan Couto goes to Bayern on the free, which is very annoying because one, I wanted him, and two, he holds good value. That is probably the only bad bit of business we've done so far. As for every other name I mentioned, we couldn't sell a single soul. They still remain. We have spent big, well, nowhere near our budget, but 103 million on Castello Luca Bayer. Coming in from Leipzig, he plays a ton of games, scores 4 goals, a great average rating, and just, if you just look at him for a second, he is such a good centre-back, it's unbelievable. He's 23, and it just adds a player to the roster now, because in the upcoming seasons, we're not going to lock in Aït-Nouri to left-back. It might mean that Guardio gets pushed out there for a few games, which means we need another world-class centre-back. And look no further, but that is going to be the only signing. So we had close to 500 million. We spent 100. We managed to reclaim the Premier League, so we didn't need to spend £500 million. I just think we needed a bit of a better season, maybe some stronger players like Luca Bayer coming in. Just one will get the job done, and that has got the job done. Edison back to the top with the clean sheets. Hey, maybe Luca Bayer helped with that one. Bernardo Silva and Savinho are going to be in your top assists. Erling Haaland, the most player of the matches, 19 out of 38 games, by the way. That's some return. He dominates the goal scoring ranks, and honestly, he might go down for me. I know it's quite an obvious statement, but some people say Endrick, some people have got Isaac in their categories. He is, for me, the clear number 1 in FM. When it comes to goal scoring, you don't get much better than Big Boy Haaland. We are going to be back-to-back winners in the Champions League final. This time over PSG. We do win on penalties. It was an incredibly boring game, hence why we are going to watch another cup highlight, because this was quite a boring game. To get to the final, we did get past Real Madrid again, 5-4, or 5-2, sorry. So, I mean, that's actually a bit more of a thumping than what I thought. 2-1 over Marseille, a bit of a closer game. The round of 16, 3-1 over Porto. And the actual league phase, we win 100% of our games. We're now looking like a bit of a menace when it comes to the Champions League. And we are off for another game in the Super Cup, a chance to win another trophy, a trophy which I actually quite value quite up there, because you have to be European winners to play in it, and it's looking pretty lively. I mean, it's going to be a great start from Haaland inside of 68 minutes, and do you know what? Fair play to Newcastle, because they nearly get their way. Nearly, but unfortunately they don't. Kovacic over the top into Haaland, and that is one of the more ridiculous finishes I have ever seen in Football Manager. A 2-0 lead, and all Newcastle can, you know, I'm not going to slate them because they've won a European trophy to get here. They've played quite well, and they do grab a little goal here, but it just meant nothing. We're going to win it again. Also, I'm going to lift the Community Shield again on penalties. So this season, we have really been the team that you got to fear if you're playing on penalties. Unfortunately, the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup are a bit too much to get done. And actually, I'm going to say very early exits for both of the competitions. 4th round against Arsenal, quarterfinals against United, and looking at it on paper, genuinely not that strong in these English competitions. But when you win the Premier League, the Champions League, the Super Cup, the Community Shield, you can only be so annoyed. Do you know what I mean? You can't be absolutely fuming with what you have done, because you have done quite well. And I mean, the fact we've won back-to-back Champions League is a real big statement in Europe. The fact that we're now winning Premier League titles, we just need to keep winning them back-to-back, because I want to turn this team into a team that wins minimum 5 trophies a season. That's what I want to try and achieve. So if we can do that, become the best team ever in football, I can walk away pretty happy from this video. Now, money-wise, we are going to have a budget of 460 million to go in and spend again. Where we're going to spend that, we can now go and see, because for the first time ever, Aït-Nouri, Serki are not going to be locked in. Now, this is interesting, because Reinders was not locked in, and he actually does get into the team filtered by the best 11. He now might be coming into his own. 10 and 10, a pretty decent season. 20 and 25 from Silva. Foden 14 and 12, Savinho 12 and 24, 90 from Haaland, 4 and 9 from Grealish, Akanji 2 and 6, 2 and 5 from Kovacic, 8 Nori, 0 and 1. How many games does he play? 8 games. That's the lock-in danger. I can't lock him in for life. It's not how football works. Rayan Serki, 7. It's a fall from grace, but I give him enough time to adapt to the Premier League. I can't lock him in forever, guys. If you disagree with me, by the way, please leave a comment, but I just think if I'm going to lock in players forever every single time, it's a bit unrealistic, you know? Yes, they can not play if they've got an injury or they're tired, something like that, but I mean, I don't think it's fair to lock them in all the time. So sadly, this is now going to be a bit of a realisation of who can swim in the ocean and who's going to drown. So it is what it is. It's football, sadly. But overall, very happy with the team. I mean, there's obvious areas that we are going to have to look to in the future. You can even argue DM, right? I mean, Rodri is now currently 29. Still got about 3 years in him, to be fair. But we've got Kovacic, Gonzalez and Phillips. Considering I want to sell 2 of them, we need to bring in another backup at bare minimum. Right back, we have now got Rico Lewis, and that is it, really. I don't like Akanji at right back, so we are going to need another right back. Centre-backs, we've got Luca Bea and Diaz. I am going to consider selling either Ake or Akanji to bring in a younger option, and that will be another centre-back being required. Left-back, we've got Gvardio and 8 Nori. And as for the wingers, we are actually quite good. Although, we are looking to try and sell Jack Grealish, but I think we still would be quite good in terms of rotation. So, let's get into the next season. After winning 4 trophies in Season 3, that's pretty decent so far. I can't believe what I've seen with my own eyes, people. Reinders had one of the best seasons he has had in a Man City shirt, and he wanted to leave. And do you know what? The price tag we got for him in £50 million, I'm going to take because it's money back into the team, so that is one of 3 transfers technically not working out. He was given a chance to shine in the first 2 years. He showed like an absolute diamond in the last season, but he decided to go to Everton. And I don't know why. I wish him the best because he's a great player, but genuinely not what I was expecting. So goodbye to one of the new men already. But we're going to replace him with Camavinga, who comes in for 130 million. Now, he is by far the better player, don't get me wrong. A bit of a different role, but we can make him work. And I will say this as well, he can also cover left back. So we are now going to have a range of very versatile players, which is very, very helpful. But this guy has been brought in to play in midfield, not at left back. If he does play at left back, I'm not going to be annoyed because he can play it quite well, but that is going to be quite an expensive left back, whereas I put that money realistically for him to be a midfield player. But Camavinga is going to be flying the sky blue flag. We're then going to welcome in Inacio, coming in from Bayern for £108 million. He only plays 11 games, and it sounds toxic to say this. He is a backup player, and it's toxic because we spent over 100 million, but we've got the funds to do it. We're Man City. We've got the money to do it. And this guy isn't a backup in terms of that he is bad, but when everybody's fit, does he actually get into the first team? Most likely not. Now, he can grow a little bit, so potentially, a few years down the line, he can do. But at the moment, he is just a better option to have at the back, alongside of, you know, the several world-class centre-backs we have. And he was also available on the market. So, welcome Camavinga, welcome to this man. 2 very big names. And despite the loss of the new man from AC Milan, we have brought in a better midfield player. We are going to go back-to-back in the Premier League, which is really good to see. Very, very good to see. Our first time doing it since I've been here. Erling Haaland, once again, your top goal scorer. We're going to have Edison, 3rd place for the clean sheets. Savinho, Bernardo Silva, 1st and 2nd when it comes to the assists. And once again, we're going to absolutely lock out the average rating. Every single player in the Premier League that is rated the best, I played at the Etihad. We are going to win the Super Cup once again, make that 2 times now back-to-back. And I tell you what, this one's become a little old now. We're also going to win the FA Cup again, 3-1 over Tottenham. And I can tell you something now, that is now 2 times inside of 4 years. So a 50% strike rate is not too bad. And we must have clutched up big time in extra time by 2 goals. So we'll take that. Apart from that, we didn't really win too much else. The Champions League is a big fall from grace. We are going to actually go out in the quarterfinals, so that's quite a step back. The Carabao Cup, a third round exit, and the Community Shield is just going to be runners-up. So we are going to take home 3 trophies over the season. Now, to me, the Premier League holds significant importance. It really, really does. But it would have been nice to, you know, link the Champions League in again, and we are still quite a bit off being that super team that win pretty much everything back-to-back seasons. And that's fine, because we are still very, very, very early on into this Man City rebuild. And I look at the players that we have got on paper, and this is where I would argue this rebuild becomes quite hard, because at the end of the day, every one of these players is world class in their own right. And where do you spend money? Who do you sign? And that's going to be the tough question, because looking at this team on paper, you can win everything with this team, but there's always somewhere, some little thing that you might want that you haven't got. And bearing that in mind, we have got a budget of 409 million pounds. So once again, money is no issue for the Man City boys, but we are not looking to sign players just for sake of signing them. What we need is for some of these transfer listed players to be sold, because then I can replace them with better young players and start preparing for the future a little bit, because there are players that are going to get older and have to leave before this video ends. Ederson, Rodri, several other players, Bernardo Silva coming up quite shortly, I imagine. There's a lot of players in here that need to be moved on, and we've got the money to bring in some proper good world-class young talents, but I'm not going to sign them before we can offload. Right, we have had a big offloading session, and it's come at the right time, because Akanji, great centre-back, now getting to the older side of his career, he is going to still go for 27 million. A big bit of cash coming in, almost double to what we paid out for him. That is a great bit of initial business. Okay, again, same as Akanji, good centre-back, coming to his older stage of his career, the right time to sell him. He is going to be sold for 27 million, so we are going to lose a bit of money. We were never going to recover 41 million, obviously what Man City paid from Bournemouth, but I mean, to be honest, nearly 30 million pounds is not a bad bit of money to come back into the team, and again, it only helps fund more transfers. We are going to look to sell Francis Babatunde to Arsenal. I believe we sold him to. Finally goes to Arsenal. He's been out on loan a little bit. To be honest, he might be a good prospect in this game, but we'll never get into this team and building a super team. I'm going to take 12 million when I can. We are going to wave goodbye to Ortega. The German keeper goes to the German league for 1.4 million, and he concedes quite a fair few goals. He is at the right end stage of his career, but just with those outgoings, not only have we generated money, we've freed up wage, and it gives me the green flag to go and spend big. I've gone and spent big because we've had to spend a bit more on getting Trubin, because he actually went to Chelsea as well. Now, we kind of spend big, quite big. 79 million pounds after one season is pure cash flow for Chelsea, but he did have one of the best seasons out of all the goalkeepers in the league, so it is a bit of a banker, to be honest. But for us, he only plays one game this season because Ederson still is here. Now, Ederson will be sold forcefully if he doesn't want to leave. I will kick him out of the team next season, but this season he stays put. Carlos Baleba is going to come in for another midfielder option for a total of 104 million pounds. He plays 17 games, drops a very good average rating, and he just offers a lot. Now, I know I signed this guy quite a lot, and it's for a good reason. He always delivers. He always delivers. He's great technically, mentally, physically. He is such a well-rounded player. You can't not get him. 27 million, welcome in Pau Kabasi, coming in from Barcelona, as I said, for a bit of money, to be fair. 27 appearances. Now, this guy's an interesting man, because mentally, he's pretty much got everything in the yellow. Same for physical. He is a world-class elite centre-back at the age of 21. That's a fact. But there is also a world where I can turn him into a DM, and he could become the perfect Rodri, almost regen. So that's also up in here in the dome to do that with him. So we have really planned this transfer through. And lastly, can you guess who? If you did, you're a genius, because no one would ever bank this signing. We are going to pick up Martinez from Girona as a temporary right-back backup, a temporary option. He might even leave in a few seasons. He is purely there just to have as a set of legs if we need another right back. There is no real reason, apart from him looking semi-okay. He was cheap and cheerful and somewhat fitted the system as an inverted wing back. Other than that, That's it. We are going to win the Premier League again, and we nearly go invincible, only losing one game against Newcastle, which is absolutely lovely to see. Erling Haaland, your top goal scorer again. Ederson, your most clean sheets. We are going to have Savinho and Phil Foden in there with the assists, and this is now going to be 3 times back-to-back. Oh yeah, we like it. Also going to be in the Champions League final against Real Madrid. Now, we have never struggled against them in the knockout stages, so I'm quite confident, and we probably should be, because we are about to go 2-0 up. This is just after the first half ends, to be fair. But in about 46 minutes, I mean, can someone describe to me what is that goal? Comment below one word that describes that goal, because I've got no idea what I've just seen. This moment here was a bit of a moment to forget for the new man. In fact, I'm not even going to talk about what happened. We're just going to watch it happen. Yeah, it's not nice, so we'll ignore that happens, because that could have cost us quite big if we didn't have such a good attack. With Bernardo Silva down the right-hand side, plenty of space, a little cut through into Rodrigo, plenty of space across, loads of space. Madrid are falling apart once again, and that is going to be a 3-1 lead as we go on with Luca Bea into Camavinga. Oh, that's risky, but somehow it's paid off. Erling Haaland is going to go through. Yeah, the guy is a cheat code. We also go on to win the FA Cup in 2-1 fashion over Manchester United, and the Community Shield 4-0 over Tottenham. So that is going to be 4 trophies won. Sadly, the 5th trophy doesn't come into play because we do lose the Carabao Cup against Tottenham in the quarter-finals. But realistically, a very, very strong season. Premier League, Champions League, FA Cup, Community Shield. It's a quadruple winning season, and the money's going to follow. I mean, we are still going to have 327 million with basically no debt to our name at all. So financially, we're always going to be sound. That's a pretty easy fact to understand. When it comes to the team, we are building something special here, and there's not too much to talk about, to be honest with you, because the team talks for itself. The only thing that I will say is we have still got several players that I want to sell that are quite obvious. I don't want to sell Silva, but he will be getting sold at some point because he is now 33. I don't want to get him to 35 and he goes on the free. So he will be getting sold at some point. The same can be said for the likes of... Where is Jack Grealish gone? I think Jack Grealish may have gone mid-season. Let's go to the transfer window. Right. So I may have actually forgot to mention, Grealish went to Leicester on the free. That shows how little he actually meant to the club. I'm going to be honest, I didn't even notice he was gone. That kind of shows his impact on the team. But we replace him. If you play him centrally, that'll be him being replaced in Xavi Simons. He's going to come in for 102 million, 31 goal contributions out of 35 games in the Premier League. And you just know what you're getting, okay? We have now got Xavi Simons, Foden, Bernardo Silva, Serki, who can all play centrally. It's an okay roster. And for 120 million, a new face to this entire channel, as we have never signed him before, Samuel Illing is going to come in from Aston Villa. Now, he does quite well, 12 goal contributions, but he was signed for loads of reasons. First one, he's still semi-young. Second, he is English. Thirdly, he's very versatile. Fourth, he's very quick, very good on the ball, very technical. And the 5th reason, he actually wanted to join. So there was 5 very justified reasons. Now, I will say we have spent big this window, £222 million to be exact. But we have got 2 world-class players. We are going to win the Premier League with 100 points, which is absolutely incredible. You can now make that 4 times on the bounce, Haaland dominating the rankings, and he is now going to score more goals because he has got Phil Foden, Simons, Silva, Rodri in the top assists. We're a nightmare for the Premier League. Nobody can compete. This team is in a world of its own. We also are going to go on to win the UEFA Super Cup 2-2 on penalties over Napoli, the Community Shield 4-2 over Aston Villa. But the reason why I'm showing you in a bit of a quicker way now is because this season we failed to win the Carabao Cup, FA Cup, Champions League. We failed to win 3 pretty big trophies. So as a grand scheme of things, my sort of want for 4 to 5 trophies a season has not been met once again. I'm trying not to sound petty because, you know, we are winning trebles pretty much every season, but when 2 of the trophies are the pre-season ones, it doesn't hit the same. Though, I mean, we can be nothing but proud with these lads, okay? They're doing a great job, and we're now seeing this happen. The man that was signed for a centre-back is going to jump in to DM. The guy who was signed to play DM is playing left-back. The guy who was signed from Pep to play left-back is now playing at centre-back. It's a complete reshuffle, but it works really, really well. So your first team now is Ederson, Lewis, Diaz, Guardiola, Camavinga, Kabasi, Rodri, Silva, Simmons, Foden, Haaland. It's a world-class 11. And to make it even more world-class, we are going to have a budget of £270 million. And we are edging towards what I like to call the regen era. Right, well, sadly, what has happened with Bernardo Silva is he has gone on the free. Now, it's not a negative because, I mean, we spent 44 million, yes, but look how much he has done for me in his time at Man City. We've really milked what we can out of him, and he still goes to Barcelona and enjoys a great season. But, I mean, nothing but love for the guy, man. I mean, he has been a world-class player since minute one at Man City, and he's done so much for me over the years, and if he wants to move on to Barcelona, fair play to him. But we take one of theirs. It's an eye for an eye. You take one of ours, we take one of yours. Gavi is going to sign up to the Sky Blue Monsters for £100 million, 21 games being played, a decent average rating, although not perfect, and quite surprising, he doesn't get a goal or an assist. That's the bit that gets me. Now, he would have been playing in one of the deeper positions. He would not have been playing AM because we've got really world-class players there, and he does actually occupy the deeper area quite well, to be honest. As players go, you don't get much better, and I think of the options we've got in midfield right now, and we might have locked out every world-class player because we have got some serious options. And for a backup striker, I know, privilege, right? We are going to sign Samu, coming in from PSG for 87 million. Now, he only plays 2 games because Haaland stays fit, and I've seen some of the highlights. Marmoush actually got ahead of him for some of the games, so that's quite interesting as well. But we now know that if Haaland has a broken leg or whatever happens, we have got a leading Premier League elite striker just ready to come on, just sat there doing his warm-ups. And that puts me in a very comfortable position. We carry on winning the Premier League, and this time there are going to be 2 Man City players in the top goal scoring. I can't get rid of Ederson, by the way. I know I said I'd force him out, but I'm not going to forcibly terminate his contract. I've tried to transfer list him so many times because he is now getting a little bit older. He is now 36, so I imagine retirement is pending, but that topic to one side, Samuel is going to be in the top goal scorers, behind Erling Haaland, Xavi, Simmons, Foden, Samuel in the assists as well, and this man might be one of the player of the seasons. What a man he is, what a player he actually is, and what a season it was. That is now going to be 5 times back-to-back. Community Shield, we are also going to win, making that 3 times back-to-back, and again, we are going to win it on penalties, but do you want to know something? Get ready. That is the only thing we win with the Premier League. 2 trophies. So we've not been good enough for me in these competitions. The Carabao Cup, we've actually not even won yet, which is not good enough. Not good enough. We've not won the Carabao Cup once. The FA Cup, I feel like we've got to more finals than I've had hot dinners. We have got to quite a fair few. To be fair, we're doing okay in the final conversion rate. The Champions League, we've done okay in over the years, but we're now having a bit of a drop-off in that, and we're conceding 6 goals to PSG, and we bottled that in the second leg, big time. The Premier League is the Premier League. That's now our trophy. People may as well not even play in it. We are absolutely incredible. But these 2 competitions, this one here, is really frustrating me. I want to win a Carabao Cup. That's a sentence, right? I'm prioritising the Carabao Cup next season. No one has ever said that, I don't think. Going into the tactics, though, again, I can't really fault the tactic because we are winning a lot of stuff, and the stats that's getting out of the players is incredible. Camavinga's now nurtured his role as left back, which is fine, I guess. Rico Lewis 4 and 8, Diaz 8 and 5. This man here, 16 and 17. He was brought in to play centre-back, but now is incredibly comfortable in midfield. That was a really intelligent signing. Rodri doing his thing, this man doing his thing, this man. Everybody doing their thing, man. I mean, Savinho still playing well, Gavi doing well. It's really a good season. How well is Truben coping? He's fine. He is now 28, though, so he is getting older, but he is He has played hardly any games since joining, and he is still keeping the same ability, which is quite helpful because Ederson has to retire soon. But we'll get into the next season with our small budget of £177 million, and we'll go and see what we can do, because I think we're now at a sort of point where if we look at the rotation we have got, so Ederson, we've got Trubin. When Ederson retires, I'm going to promote a guy called, I think it's Spike or something Brits from the younger team. I'm going to get him in as a backup keeper. We have got Rico Lewis. We have then got maybe a better right back in terms of backup. That's a position. Centre backs, we have got Luca Bea, Diaz, Guevardio, Inacio, Kuzanov. We have got good options. Left back, we've got Camavinga, Guevardio, Nori. Midfield, you've got Camavinga, Rodri, Kabasi, Gavi, Baleba, Nico Gonzalez, AM, Simmons, Gavi. You've got a lot of players here. Foden can play there. And up front and the wingers we're obviously covered. So, genuinely, right back's the only position we really need as a backup or a world-class player, and then Rico Lewis would become the backup. Well, we somehow get money for a 37-year-old goalkeeper. Ederson is going to go for 9 million. Now, he has been a club legend, and I will use that word, but his time has finally come up. Trubin's ready to replace him. We already had that in our head. Instantly going to need a replacement, but Madrid to spend that sort of money, I mean, it's not a lot of money, 9 million for Madrid, but on that goalkeeper, they must have been in desperate need. And we signed no one. So we are going to lose 3 players there. We signed nobody because there was no right back on the market that actually met my needs. So we are going to go in with the exact same team, minus Ederson. Champions League again is going to be an exit in the quarterfinals. It feels like we had our real good time in the Champions League, and that was it. Now we just can't get to a final. The Premier League, we are going to win again, making that, is that 6 times now, back to back? As I said, this is our thing right now. 53 goals from Haaland, Xavi Simons with 16, Trubin, the most clean sheets, Phil Foden, Xavi Simons, Samuel going to be in there with the assists as well. And again, it is a Man City lockout when it comes to the average rating. Genuinely, the Premier League, it's Man City's. And it will be for the rest of the seasons, I imagine. We've built a powerhouse. It's the Carabao Cup final, and this is going to be my Champions League. A great start there against Tottenham from Rico Lewis, who maintains his spot in the starting 11. Keep an eye on this from Tottenham, because usually they can't play out from the back, and it's going to be a mistake, I think. It is Erling Haaland, open net, mistake from Tottenham. A 2-0 lead, and are we finally going to have our hands on the Carabao Cup? It is looking more than likely. Simmons into Samuel, into Haaland, a 3-0 lead, and surely we can't bottle it. Well, we do bottle a clean sheet, but not the overall game. Tottenham are going to get a goal here with a great ball in and a great header, but we are going to be Carabao Cup winners. On top of that, a 3-2 win in the Community Shield over Tottenham Hotspur. Tottenham just can't get the job done in cup finals, which, I would say is a given, but look what happened in the Europa League. Clearly not. But we have finally won the Carabao Cup. We have won the Premier League again and the Community Shield. The FA Cup runners-up again. Again, we've had several seasons like where we're 1 trophy off doing the quadruple or 5 trophies. It's if buts and maybes with this team at the moment. But overall, I am happy to win the Carabao Cup. But should it have taken me this many years? No. No, it shouldn't have done. And we have only been in the final 2 times over this spell. So we've not even been unlucky, really. We just haven't been good enough in that competition. The players have given everything this season, and I mean everything. Haaland's becoming relentless, as he always has been. He is now 30 years of age, but of course, Samu can step in when he needs to. 5-1 from him this season. Gavi 5-5. 2-1 coming in from Inacio. 8-15 for Savinho, Doku 11-12, 2-1 for Martinez, Baleba 4 assists. I mean, genuinely, this team, the players in this team is what I'm trying to say. They can only be replaced by sort of new gens in the game that are just absolutely broken. So, for example, at right back, it's going to have to take some right back of a new gen to come in and replace Rico Lewis. apart from that, I don't even know if there's going to be good enough new gens to come into the team. Of course, we can still strengthen the bench with new gens, with new faces. We are going to have the money to do that. We've got over 200 million, so we can go and make that happen, but it's going to have to take some pretty, and I mean some pretty, special players. We are going to wave goodbye to Nunes. Now, this is not the most heartbreaking goodbye, because I really like him, but he just didn't play any games, so we are going to take the £9 million from the Saudi League, but we've lost someone a lot more influential. Marmouche. Now, he is going to be 33, so it's fair game, you know, he is coming up to almost the retirement years. He goes to Leicester, so they took Grealish, they take Marmouche. He has a great season as well in the Championship, so he is taking a bit of a step down, but why not? He's proven himself, hasn't he? Have a chilled out life now. And we have got a better right back. Now, he's not a new gen. He is a very well-known player from Barcelona. Hector Fort. He is a little bit better than Phil Foden. Phil Foden? Rico Lewis. Where has Phil Foden come from? Better than Rico Lewis. Now, when you say better, you pay for better. 78 million. 4 assists, 3 goals, a 7 average rating. And you know what? Him and Rico Lewis are going to make a perfect duo, because Rico Lewis can now also play in midfield very comfortably. I have been training him sort of on a one-to-one basis to make that happen in case this day does come where maybe Rico Lewis isn't guaranteed first-team football at right back. He can be a rotation between right back and central midfield in that Roman playmaker role, and we have now got a nice hybrid team of players that can play left back, DM, centre back, DM, DM, centre back, DM, right back. We have got players that can fill in for each other, and that is the key to success. On top of that, we've signed Emery, who is another player who can actually play right back if you really wanted him to. So I'm going after players that are world class, way under 30 years of age, very versatile, so we can all have different turns in different positions and really help the team out, because at the end of the day, injuries are a nightmare in this game, and if you can build a semi-young, world-class, flexible 11, you are going to be in the best place possible. And he cost me big. He cost me big. There's no hiding that. He cost me big every week. He's nearly on 600k a week, but he is a prime player who has been playing very well for one of the best teams in Europe. And it is a big moment in the Champions League final against United, as it is going to be none other than, get ready for it, Hector Fort winning it in extra time. What a statement. Also go on to win the Community Shield 2-1 over Arsenal, with goals from Haaland and Starboy in midfield. League, we are going to go again and win. You can now make that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times back-to-back, 8 times out of 9 years. A very, very good, very consistent ratio. Trubin, again, top clean sheets. Xavi Simmons, again, most assists. Samuel coming in the second most. Phil Foden the third most. I mean, I feel like there's just been no competition in this league. I mean, let's just go and have a little recap over the past years. 99, 95, 85, 98, 78, 100 to 81, 97 to 81. Yeah, there's been no one really give me any threat. So it's been a consistent just domination. Now, again, get ready, because these 2 trophies we have not done well in again. 2 times now. It's just, why can't we win them consistently? If we can win these trophies consistently, we could have endless quadruple 5 trophy seasons. But apparently the quarterfinal is as much as we can handle, which is an absolute embarrassment, to be honest with you. Meaning, going into the last season, we are going to have a budget of about 100. Let's actually equal out the wage, so we can't even do that yet. But we're going to have about 160 million, I reckon, to go and spend. We have promoted Brits to backup goalkeeper. He doesn't play too many games, but he is a decent Premier League goalkeeper. Realistically, I'm happy with the team. Every position I'm happy with. I'm happy with the backup. The only players you'll see coming in now, most likely, would be like a mad new gen that I'm signing for your sake, for the Patreon sake, that want to play with them in the future. For me, this team on paper, they can win everything. We just need to make it happen. And we have lost another giant to Real Madrid. Now, similar to Bernardo Silva, I could have probably got 30, 40 million for him, but I decided to get the most out of him. Keep him for as long as I can. Ruben Diaz goes to Real Madrid on the free. They're going to get 1 year out of him top, so they're not going to gain that much from him, and they are paying him 190k a week. He played for us for so many years, and yeah, I could have recovered 30, 40 million. I most likely could have done that. But I wanted to extract every season, every game out of him because he is such a good centre-back. £30 million, we are going to welcome in Renzo Hardy, a new gen for your sake for the rebuild. That is going to be a player coming in for 30 million, 7 appearances, 1 assist, and drops a 6.86 average rating. This man is perfect for the future. He is, firstly, already a very good player, tons of potential. He's got the aggression, he's got the determination. He is going to become a bit of a Roy Keane vibe, which is quite funny to say in a Man City team. And the last signing of the video is going to be Jarell Hato, coming in from Inter Milan for 46 million. And yes, it is a Diaz replacement. Yes, he's a bit older. He's 27. But when you lose a world, and I mean like world-class, experienced centre-back, the only thing you can do to guarantee the same sorts of results is replace him with someone similar. Now, I'm not even saying this guy's as good. He's still can grow in potential, so he's not at his peak, but again, versatility is always in my mind, and this guy can also become and play as a cracking left back. Well, we can start off with a negative. Why not? Because we're not going to win the Champions League in season 10. We go out in the quarterfinals 5-3. Carabao Cup, we can end on a negative note, as we are going to lose 3-1 to Manchester United in the third round. Video and another, keep the negatives coming. I mean, genuinely, the English Cups, are they the hardest trophies to win or something? We're going to lose in the 5th round against Chelsea on penalties. What's going on? Keep them coming. Honestly, keep them coming. Runners up in the Community Shield against Chelsea on penalties. The things we do win, that's probably the little thing to talk about. The Super Cup 3-0 over Newcastle, and the Premier League we are going to win again, and we go invincible. So a very, very small positive to end this 10th season on. Now, looking at it, past winners, we have won at 9 out of 10 times. That is a simple fact. No denying that. We have been incredible in the Premier League. Have we become the best team football has ever seen? No, I don't think we have. Not in, maybe in terms of if a team won the Premier League that amount of times on the bounce and the Champions Leagues 3 times, whatever, maybe. But what I wanted was to win a quadruple pretty much every season, and I think I've got the players to do that. I really, really do. We have lost a couple of players here, though. Hang on a second. Hang on a second here. Transfer history. Oh, it's just Diaz going, okay. Wonder what was going on right there. But we have won a lot of trophies, but we have not got to my consistent quadruple winning stage. But I'm still happy with what we've done with Man City. I think if you show this to a Man City fan, they would take it because 2 out of 3 of their signings done okay. I will be honest with you, like, if you look at the faces that were there, it's hard to replicate the experiment in Football Manager unless you lock them in the whole time. Maybe I should have done that. You guys can leave a comment on what you think I should have done. I just think locking in the player, you then don't give the rest of the squad players a full fair chance. You're full in on that player, which is fine if you're building like a youth-only team, something like that. But at the end of the day, Serki is a good player. He was given 2 to 3 years locked in. Then he's got to fight for his future. And yeah, 2 assists in his last season. It's not great. But I do think this Man City team has got a bright future, to be honest with you. And hopefully you have enjoyed the video. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And once as always, guys, you can comment below the team you want to see get rebuilt next up. Let's go. Fresh off a heartbreaking Europa League final defeat and one of the worst seasons in recent memory, it's clear this club needs more than just a reset. It needs a total rebuild. But this isn't just any rebuild. We're talking 10 years of calculated moves, ruthless decisions, and ambitious dreams. The goal? Premier League dominance, Champions League glory, and everything in between. Enter the new era, led by Cunha and Mbeumo. 2-star signings ready to light up Old Trafford and lead this revolution. They'll be key as we clear out the deadwood, bring in real talent, and reshape this squad into European contenders. This is the decade-long rebuild of Amorim's Manchester United, and it starts now. Manchester is about to become only red. Let's get into it. So it is finally here, the 10-year Manchester United rebuild, and I have added in Cunha. I have added an Mbomo because Cunha's done and Mbomo is going to be done pretty much any second. So they are going to be playing a big part in this rebuild, and we're going to talk through the squad very, very shortly. But first of all, if you do enjoy, please do leave a like and subscribe because it helps the channel out big time. And we've got some stacked rebuilds coming this week, including a Tottenham rebuild without Ange and a 10-year Erik ten Hag Leverkusen rebuild. Make sure you're subscribed and whack the bell on because we've got some of the best rebuilds about. But going over to this rebuild, this is a bit of a passion project. This is my club. I've seen them go through down, 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 down. Lots of downs recently. Not many ups, but at the end of the day, over 10 years, I'm hoping we can change that around. As a club, they've got a great reputation. That's an interesting sentence. They've got good training, good youth recruitment. Training facilities, good. Some would say otherwise. Put a Ronaldo picture up. I mean, interesting. But looking at the owners, they love the club. Again, some people would debate. A lot of debatable stuff going on here. Reputation should just say controversial, really. Going over to the actual history, obviously, it's incredible. Genuinely incredible. 3 Champions Leagues, 2 Premier Leagues, 1 Club World Championship, 1 European Cup, 1 Europa League, 1 UEFA Super Cup, 13 English FA Cups, 1 Intercontinental, 2 Sky Bet Championships, 6 Carabao Cups, 21 English Community Shields. But as you can see, it is literally an emotional roller coaster at the moment. Literally a roller coaster. So we have got our work cut out big time. Now, money-wise, it's no secret, we've got a bit of debt. That's pretty straightforward, right? So we are going to be quite sensible, definitely in the upcoming seasons, in terms of spending money, but we are looking to bring in a lot of money from players that we are going to go and sell. Now, if you are playing back home, you are going to have a budget of 26 Great British million pounds. Is that even a word? I'm not sure, but we're going to run with it. And going over to the tactics, this is the 11 of sales. Don't worry, we are not playing some mad formation or mad player roles. These are the players that are going to be sold. Garnacho is toxic. I want him gone from the club. Rashford, he just doesn't fit in anymore, to be honest. Sancho, poor attitude, poor performance. Them 3 can go, and I'm hoping, let's not sugarcoat it, guys. Garnacho is quite hard to sell in this game, from my experience. I'll take 50 mil for him in this game. Marcus Rashford, again, I'll take 40 million. Sancho, 30 million. That's a lot of money in this game. Don't get me wrong, in real life, we might get more, but in the game, the transfers aren't fully realistic, in my opinion. Going down to the left-back role, we have got Lindelof. He will be sold. I will take any amount of money for him. Just get him gone. Not in a bad way. He's done his bit for the club, but he's not really the player I'm looking for. Eriksen is close to retirement, so he basically just needs to go at some point and give me back the £170,000 per week. Anthony, I had a split decision whether to keep him after seeing a very hot spell at Real Haspalis, but I think I'm going to let him go, to be honest with you. Casemiro's just got to go. He's on 300k a week. Has he always been bad? No, obviously not. He's a footballing legend, but he's on 300k a week. We can afford some better options if we had that wage money. Onana, do I need to say another sentence? I don't. We might be able to get some good money for him. Heaton, again, 37, he's going to retire anyway. Xerxes isn't going to be part of my system. This system is based around Amorim's central one, which I imagine we are going to play next season. And Johnny Evans, again, legend of the club, but of course, he is now 35. So that is a whole 11 of players that from this second of the video are going to be transfer listed and offered out to clubs. So I am doing my maximum here to actually go and rebuild Manchester United. Now, we are going to be kind to ourselves because we are going to lose some of these players mid-season. I have given us Cunha, because of course he is at the club, and what a signing this is going to be. I hope he is going to do half as good as what he did at Wolves in this United team, and as long as the atmosphere is right, his attitude's right, I think we're going to be golden here. So Cunha is going to be in the club, and I am absolutely buzzing to have him in a rebuild at United from season 1, and hopefully you guys agree that I've done this for myself, because I do think that, well, that is confirmed. A player that I think will happen is going to be Emi Martinez. Now, this guy I could have genuinely got with the finances because he cost me next to nothing. But he is going to come in, and we are going to use him as our first team goalkeeper because Onana, I think, does have to go, in my humble opinion. And lastly, we are going to welcome, where is the big boy himself, Mbomo. Now, this is the conversation. United fans, if you're still watching, please type out your thoughts in the comments. Where does Mbomo play? Because obviously, in this game, he doesn't play AM. I believe in some stages of Brentford's play, he has played centrally before. For me, I am actually going to have him up front, because I don't really trust Højlund. Xerxes on the transfer list. I'm going to have him up front with, obviously, the big man, the new man, Cunha, behind him. That's going to be my plan, and Bruno, obviously, is going to be in the team. But if Saudi do come calling, I might consider it. But for now, I'm going to honour his loyalty by staying at the club. It's a really big move from him, that is. Big respect to him. Other players that I'm partly worried about not working in the system are going to include, depending, Luke Shaw's performance. We will go with Malacia. We will go with Diallo, because obviously where he's going to play next season is still up for debate, and I don't really like him centrally in this game, so there's a world where actually we do move him on. Again, don't take any offence to this, United fans, because this is my rebuild, what I want to try and do over a decade and do the best for the club. Other than that, I think we're going to be somewhat okay with the players we have got. But again, at any part of this video you think, oh, I want to carry on that rebuild, I want that tactic, you can come over and get all of these perks on the Patreon, where there is currently 20% off right now, so make sure you come on over. We've got a stacked week of content this week. We've got tons of tactics, tons of real good rebuilds, so make sure you go over and get stuck in. Let's get into Season 1 then. We are, of course, playing in 5 competitions, so a lot of competitions to be played, a lot of football to be played, and in terms of the Premier League, they personally think we're going to finish in 5th place, which, do you know what? From this season, I'd happily take. But looking at the team and the new signings we have got, if we actually filter in the best 11, for example, Martinez gets in, the other 2 don't. So I think we are going to lock in Cunha and Mbeumo, so that obviously they are going to get a bit of game time. Cue Season 1. Right, well, Season 1, we have won the Premier League. Now, don't worry, we are nowhere near done to what we want to do, because we want to win multiple Premier Leagues and multiple Champions Leagues. Now, genuinely, I want to see how well these new signings done, because Martinez has got the most clean sheets. So if there is any miracle world, anyone from United anywhere is watching this, get him in the club right now. We have got no assists in terms of the top, well, 3, top 2. Where is Cunha in here? Cunha's ghosted, so that's quite interesting to see. I want to go and have a look at how many goals Mbeumo scored, how many assists Cunha got, what the average rating actually was from these star-studded players, because I've got a feeling, I don't know how well they work, so we might actually go and look at that right now before we see what else we actually go on to hopefully win. So tactics, we have got Cunha, 9 and 7. Now, Cunha was locked in. He played every game, 7 goals, 4 assists. Now, it's not brilliant, but also it's not awful. It's not awful. It's nearly 20 goal contributions. And Mbeumo done brilliant. 18 and 3 is somewhat acceptable for his first season. And he is, of course, not necessarily an all-and-out striker, although he can play it very, very comfortably. What I'm going to say very quickly about this team is, because I can see myself as a United fan, I would leave a comment as well. I'm going to say it right now. These players, Cunha and Mbeumo, are filler players. These players, I don't believe, will take us in real life to win a Champions League, win Premier Leagues, that sort of level. So in this rebuild, after 5-6 years, these players might become rotation players. I just want to say that, just to make sure I'm not offending any United fans, but hopefully some will agree with me on that statement, especially in this game when the new gens come through and stuff like that. But our best 11, let's just go and look, because Mason Mount had a great season, Fernandes had a fantastic season, Luke Shaw had a great season, Dalot had a great season, Cobby had a decent season, Ugarte played well, Rasmus scored 15 goals. Now, we have got a lot of players out on loan. Jadon Sancho went out on loan, of course, to Chelsea, and he returned 6 goal contributions. He can definitely get sold. Victor Lindelof went out on loan to Tottenham, and he is joining permanently, so that is one player ticked off the transfers. He can go. Dorgu, I will not let go on the permanent at all. There will be a stint where he gets locked in and he can show me exactly what he has got, but he has a temporary season out on loan to Burnley. Casemiro is out on loan and transfer arranged going to PSG. So he went to PSG and actually played somewhat okay. They can afford his wages, so that's good. He is gone. Malacia goes out on loan to PSV. Of course, we know that one. Xerxes goes out on loan to Brighton and actually does quite well. 10 goal contributions, not too bad. But of course, Rasmus for us did do that little bit better. Marcus Rashford, of course, on loan at Villa. 7 and 10, but actually across all comps, 15 and 14. That's a monstrous season. And Garnacho goes out on loan with 6 goal contributions to Coventry, who definitely will not be able to afford him after, but at least he gets some game time. Now, to be honest, Onana is asking to leave, which is brilliant, so he can hopefully go as well. Anthony out on loan as well, 4 and 2. He done okay. A lot of our loan out players done pretty well, but obviously Coventry can't afford Garnacho. But so far, we've looked at Lindelof going on the permanent. We've got the likes of Casemiro going. We've got a lot of players that we want to offload already leaving, which is big thumbs up from me. Now, in terms of the rest of the competitions, it wasn't stellar. Community Shield runners-up, 1-0 against Manchester City. Carabao Cup, great performance, awful final, a 3-2 loss against Tottenham Hotspur. The FA Cup, we are going to exit in the 4th round against Aston Villa in 1-0 fashion. And when it comes to the Champions League, sadly, a quarter-final exit, as we are going to fall against RB Leipzig, which is a bit of a kick in the teeth. But, I mean, overall, Premier League winners, big thumbs up, big like on the video, because that's a great first season. What a recovery season from what we saw in real life. Now, going over to the money, whoa, we're seeing a lot of red down here, but we are going to have a bit of money to play with, £78 million. But of course, we have got to bear in mind, we have got Casemiro's money coming in. We hopefully can sell some more players. So right now, I'm not going to promise exactly what we're doing, because we still have got all those players on the transfer list. I could sell some of those players and have 178 million. So I can't strictly say what we're going to do, but let's cue season 2. So we are going to loan Jadon Sancho out again because they are paying most of his wages and we simply just don't want him at the club. He is going to go to West Ham, where he actually improves on last season in terms of goal output. Not as many assists, but it's a decent season. But again, West Ham, are they really going to pay 30 million for him? I doubt it. Keeping an eye on him, but Toby Collier is going to go out on loan to Rotherham to pick up some experience. I'm going to be honest, he's not really grown that well, and I don't think he's going to be a big part of this rebuild, which is sad because there are a lot of United players in this game that I don't think are good enough, but after the current season, they're going to probably become even worse. Cashing our £32 million on Casemiro, who, funny enough, is actually injured. Surprise, surprise, surprise. £32 million. Of course, it doesn't touch the surface on what we paid for him, but at least we recover a bit of money. Victor Lindelof, obviously he did go to Tottenham and he goes for 25 million. So once again, not going to recover the 33 million, but 25 million pounds, I think any United fan would snap your hand off at that. Resend Patrick Dorgo out on loan. He is going to go to Birmingham this time, where he plays quite a fair few games and does remarkably well. And this is what I mean. I am keeping my eyes on him. He is growing out on loan every season. He still has a lot to do to become a first-team wing-back. And hopefully, by the time we offload Shaw, this guy can come in and lay a statement. Joshua Zirkzee is going to go out on loan to Aston Villa. It seems like they're always a safe bet to send United players to. And he does okay. Drops a better average rating with less goals, the same assists, but he plays pretty well. Again, this guy is up for sale. Whether Villa decide to buy him or reloan him for another season, I don't know yet. On ball, because we've only spent 40 million because I'm trying to get some funds back into the club. We pick up Morton, obviously a previous Sporting man, a player that was really heavily linked when Amorim first joined, and maybe one day it will happen, but 41 million, a decent average rating, 2 goals, 2 assists, but let's just be quite fair with ourselves right now, okay? Because we have got a lot of players being sold right now, a lot of players out on loan to grow. This is a season which is a bump season. We might not win anything this year because we're just trying to get money back into the club. So we didn't even spend our transfer budget. We also generated on top of that nearly £60 million. We are putting some money back into the club, which is where we need to start doing in real life, is actually selling some of these players we don't use. So let's go into season 2. I don't know if we're even going to reclaim or maintain the Premier League title, but if we don't do that, it would be nice to pick up a little cup win. This season, though, is purely about finance. And I mean, sadly, we aren't going to make it happen. Liverpool are going to have a great season. Our issue this year is going to come down to the draws. I mean, we are going to draw 10 games, win 23 and lose 5. When you're doing that, you're never really going to get the result that you want. Liverpool are absolutely flying. Bruno Fernandes, Luke Shaw, and of course Martinez are going to be some of the best performers. But to be honest with you, Liverpool just a little bit too strong this year, and I imagine they invested quite heavy. So, do you know what? fair play. Sadly, the rest of the competitions went exactly like that as well. So we are talking runners-up in the Community Shield, a 2-2 draw against Palace initially, where we are going to fall on penalties. We then, of course, go to the Carabao Cup, where we are going to lose against Liverpool 6-3. So this is really a step-back season, as Liverpool pretty much do the treble over us in terms of knocking us out of 2 cups and, of course, winning the league. A 1-0 loss right there. And also the Champions League. So Liverpool were an absolute menace to us this year, and they were flying. I mean, their team, they've got Onslaught obviously still in charge. They've got Big Victor up front. They've got a great team, a real strong team. Welcome in Torreira as well, a real strong set of players. And I mean, at the end of the day, that's fine. We didn't even expect to win a trophy by season 3, in my opinion. We've already won 1 Premier League title, and this is just going to set us up better for the future in terms of putting some money back into the club. Now, in terms of money, we have got now a budget of 85 million. Both of these financial fair plays are more than in the green, and some of the debts and loans have been somewhat dealt with, so not too much out of them, but we are doing our bit when we can. And in terms of players, we are going to see these players locked in. A big statement to show I am giving the young players a chance. We also locked in Heaven for a game, or Haven, shall I say. Now, I can tell you something. I done this out of pure love for the guy because he's quality in real life. In Football Manager, his potential is actually quite abysmal. Definitely in this save anyway. So he will probably not be given that chance again. Not because he's a bad player, but because of the game, to be honest with you. Martinez had a great time. Cunha 22-8, significantly better. And Boimo 26-4, even he improved. So our new signings are doing absolutely fantastic. If we go and find Mr. Morton as well and put him in DM, he drops a 6.92, which is actually quite good. But when we filter by the best 11, Mbeumo actually goes right in there now, as does Martinez. He did last season, to be fair. Sadly, we are still not going to see Cunha, and we're not going to see Morton in midfield. But that doesn't matter because we're giving them game time. Now, looking at our forward players, for example, and Boimo obviously highlighted it quite a fair bit. We do have Rashford at the club, who unfortunately we couldn't sell right away. He contributed with 8 goals this season. Jadon Sancho, 6-2 out on loan as well. Where is Mr. Hoyland? 3 goals, so not as many this time. I imagine Rashford would have played a few games up front when Mbeumo couldn't be playing. Garnacho was at the club, but I really want him gone. He scored 1 goal the entire season. Mazraoui 1-5, Malacia 1-5. I mean, to be honest with you, we are in a good place in terms of we are offloading players at a decent rate, and this season was never really a season to go out and win loads and loads and loads of trophies. But I feel like the more seasons we go, the more pressure I have. So we're going to go into season 3, try and have a big transfer window in terms of players leaving, players coming in, and just try and progress, because even if we don't win the Premier League in season 3, we might now be in a situation where we've got to be trying to win one of these. Oh, not what I expected, but West Ham are going to fork out £43 million for Anthony. Now, I can tell you something. They have not even had the guy on loan, so they completely full sent this transfer. And I mean full sent this transfer. So I'm going to take that and absolutely run for the hills, because he is not worth that at all. At all. So, Bruno, thank you so much for what you have done for the club, but when you've got a Saudi team coming in offering 117 million, you're going to take it. Now, this is controversial, I'm fully aware of that, but we got a couple of seasons out of him. He won a Premier League title. Then I thought, do you know what? He's achieved what he wants. He's won a big trophy with United, and now let's let him move on. He helps us out as well. Also, part of him wanted to go. I couldn't fund £1.3 million a week, and we have now got a ton of money to reinvest. He's going to double stack his loan period at Birmingham. He goes back-to-back loans and actually has another great season. So by the time we need him, he's going to be looking pretty good. Marcus Rashford is going to be a Bayer Leverkusen player, reunite him with Erik ten Hag. He's going to go for only 25 million, where he does enjoy an actual first real good season over in Germany. And you know what? I'm happy for him, because I've got nothing against him. It's just, it didn't quite work out in the end at United. Then going to go and do the same with Jadon Sancho. I think Leverkusen are having some form of United rebuild themselves. They want all the old United players. £14 million is a bit of a stab in the back compared to what we paid for him. But at the end of the day, it's money back into the club. They're paying his wage, and he's injured. Typical. Xerxes is also going to come in and get loaned out as well, and for the first time in history, I've got my assistant with me today. Hopefully no one minds. He's quite adamant sat on the lap today, so he can sit there, he can help out with some transfers. But Xerxes is going to go out on loan to Atletico Madrid. This guy's getting loaned out everywhere, and do you know what? I feel bad for him, especially when he got booed off at, you know, Old Trafford, but at the same time, he just doesn't fit my plan, so I'm going to have to let him go eventually. But sadly, no one wants him on the permanent. We are going to spend big on a centre-back because we've sold big, why not spend big? We are going to bring in Scalvini, coming in from Atalanta for £78 million. The guy plays an absolute ton of Premier League games, drops a great average rating, scores a couple of goals as well. And when you look at centre-backs that maybe even in real life, if we did have a couple of good seasons, we could maybe attract in some world, Atalanta you can take from. And Scalvini, based off this game, would be a great signing, but this is more of an FM signing because you know what you're going to get. And when you're spending that sort of money, you want to reassure yourself that you are getting a quality centre-back. I'm going to go and spend close to 70 million on Xavi Simons from RB Leipzig. And again, one of my favourite players in world football. 8 goals, 5 assists, drops a 7 average rating. Is he better than Bruno Fernandes? No. Could he become better? Potentially. But to be honest with you, he is a ton younger, less demanding on the salary, and he can be our next part of this key project where he might take us to the next level. And that's not a slander on Bruno Fernandes' name. It's more the fact that Bruno is getting older. He will start to decline naturally. This guy's only 23. So to put things in the grand scheme of things, we have sold £142 million worth of players. We've spent £146 million, meaning we've hardly digged into our transfer budget for another season. Financial success, hopefully. We are off to Wembley for that Carabao Cup final where sadly we go 1-0 down, but when you think of a hero, how would you introduce yourself into a club? Well, Scalvini decided to do it in this fashion, by actually getting the equaliser in the 95th minute to push it to penalties, where, to be honest, it could have went either way. Paqueta is going to step up. It's a great save from Martinez, the new man in goal. We love to see that. An injured Mason Mount is going to step up, and he is going to tuck it past Areola. Solanke is then going to step up. It's a decent penalty into the bottom left-hand corner. Cunha is also going to step up against Areola, and it's cheeky into the same position. Penalties looking a bit improved now from both teams. Kudus into the same position. Is anyone going to go anywhere else? Mazraoui steps, a great penalty, and it seems that every penalty is going the same way. Thomas Souček steps the same spot. The goalkeeper may as well stand there. Rasmus Højlund, please don't miss. He switches the angle. He scores the goal. Oscar Glauer, great signing for West Ham. Again, that favoured left-hand side, but we are going to win 5-4. But as for the Premier League, we have fallen off an absolute cliff. We are going to finish in 6th place, which is miles off the pace compared to what we set in the last few seasons, and we are not even going to get Champions League football. So we mustn't have won the Champions League either, which is no real surprise, to be honest, hence why I don't mind announcing that before we even see it, because we're not going to win the Champions League yet. We are going to achieve 20 wins and 6 draws, so we are going to get rid of some of them draws, but sadly, when I said sort out the draws, I didn't mean turn them into losses, which is something we have done. Very, very annoying. Now, I will go over and say one thing right off the bat, okay? It was incredibly close to get into the top 4, but close isn't good enough at the end of the day, and we do not have a single player in the stat lines going in our favour, which is something we shouldn't be too proud about. Now, in terms of the competitions, a 5th round exit to Newcastle, which is simply not good enough, and the Champions League, a semi-final defeat against City, which isn't actually that bad. It is bad losing to City, but I mean, we got through the quarters against Real Madrid, which is a good sign. We get past Barcelona, so I mean, we are able to beat some of the big Europa teams right now. European teams, should I say, sorry. And that's a good sign, but sadly, next year, we're not even going to be in this competition. But after seeing we can beat Barcelona, Real Madrid, maybe we can go and win the Europa League. That would be really, really nice, especially considering what happened this season in real life. Now, money-wise, we are going to have a big budget of £149 million, which is absolutely incredible, to be honest with you. In terms of where we spend that, I'm still not quite sure, because we might even have more money than that, okay? Because we are going to be able to sell the likes of Garnacho, the likes of maybe Maguire now. Diallo could be sold because I don't know where he's really fitting in. In real life, yes, you can play him right back. In the game, I don't really like him there. Other than that, Xerxes still needs to go. We've got Dorgu to come back, which is good, meaning we could sell Shaw. Onana needs to go. We've got a lot of money that still needs to come in. So quite quietly, I'm sitting quite confident here. This is a twist in the tail, isn't it? Because sadly, Martinez had his contract here and said, you know what? That's enough for me. I'm going to go to the Saudi League. And do you know what? He is 34, and this is a good recreation of what would happen in real life. He's quite an old goalkeeper, so he isn't going to be here forever, is he? So this is actually a bit of a realization to a lot of people, I think, including me. He goes to the Saudi League on the actual free. Now, we spent 40 million on him to actually bring him into the club in this game. I don't know what the fee would be in real life, but it is money lost. But at the end of the day, he won us a Premier League title. He has pushed us further in different competitions, and now it's down to us to replace him. Dorgu is going to have another season out on loan. He is going to go to Southampton. I just want to make sure he is really ready, because when he comes back, I'm expecting him to be a first team left back. So a lot of people might think Josh has had so many spells out on loan now. He has had a lot of time out on loan, but he still doesn't quite sit right with me in terms of a player that can win me something. Joshua Xerxes is going to Chelsea permanently, but before that, he actually had a stint at Chelsea on loan where he returned 3 goals. We have finally broke the Xerxes curse. Goodbye. For £60 million, we are going to welcome in Pavlovic from FC Bayern, an absolute bargain at that price. 50 million, sorry if I said 60. He is going to come in with 13 goal contributions. We are going to change a player role in midfield to suit his needs, which is completely fine. This guy's an elite midfield player at the age of 23. And only I can dream of ever seeing him in a United shirt. But this is the beauty. We can make it happen today. And do you know what? I think he is going to make all the difference. I mean, he technically did in his first season. It's a great entry. And is it feeling a little bit chilly? Because we are going to sign Cole Palmer. Now, this guy is more the Bruno Fernandes replacement. He is sort of the same level. He's younger, world-class, a great player. He is on a lot of money per week, but he is perfect for this club. He offers so much technically, mentally, physically. He's English, great for registration, great for the team. And to be honest with you, 22 goals, 6 assists, a great average rating. This guy screams United. I need him in here. I need him in there. And hopefully, he can win me something this season. But once again, we do not fail at all to offload players. Joshua Xerxes, 32 million we get for him. I'll take it. The quickest Europa League final goal ever is going to be scored by Xavi Simons after brilliant stuff from Mbono. We are going to be Europa League winners. That is right, I broke it down quickly because it was such a quick game. But if you look at the man who dominated, Cole Palmer, your top goal scorer, incredible. Pavlovic, the second top assister. Onana, to be fair to him, I will not critique him, even had the most clean sheets. Now, to be honest, we had a bit of an easy way to the final. There wasn't too many teams that would have caused a threat. Bayer Leverkusen probably were the toughest team, and we beat them in the final. We get past Palace, although they did give us quite a good game. Sevilla, we absolutely just battered them. Round of 16, 5-1 against Besiktas. But we are going to be Europa League winners, so that's quite nice. We can finally recover from what happened against Spurs. As for the Premier League, we would have got Champions League anyway, as we are going to finish only 7 points off winning the title. A big improvement. The thing that I'm liking seeing it and I'm not is that Cole Palmer is our top goal scorer, which I wouldn't really want to see. I want him to see the top assister, something like that, which makes me think we might need a new striker. And Bomo and Cunha, of course, they're not temporary players, but we are now going to be close to 5 years in when they are going to be getting older and new players are going to be wanting to come in. And as I said a couple of seasons ago, Cunha and Bomo, fantastic players. Are they going to get me to the pinnacle of world football? I don't think so, to be honest with you. And that is where I come in to try and make it happen. They've played their part. They still are playing their part. But unfortunately, they might not get me to the final checkered flag. Now, in terms of the rest of the competitions, a 4th round exit against Newcastle sees us going out of the Carabao Cup, a loss on penalties, and a quarter-final exit against Liverpool in 2-1 fashion in the FA Cup. So, not a bad season. Top 4 football, Europa League 1. And in terms of the team, we are now not locking in anybody because we are now approaching 5 seasons in. they've had so many years to sort of prove themselves in the team. And when we filter by the best 11, we are now going to see the only signing out of everyone. Obviously, Martinez is no longer with us. Morton was a late signing, but we will include him. He doesn't get into the team. Cunha doesn't get into the team, and Mbeumo does. And he scores 24 goals, which, to be honest, is actually quite good. But Cole Palmer just had a great season, 37-14, 16-7 from Simmons. Luke Shaw, I want to sell, because I know every United fan will be in the comments saying, why is he at the club? But he is doing quite a good job. But if we do get the right money for him, I will sell him. Ugarte, Pavlovic had a good season. Dallo had a great season. Again, a lot of United fans would axe me for having him in the team. I might get rid of him. Our backline I love. Scalvini, De Ligt, Martinez. We have got to pay close attention. De Ligt is 27. That's actually still quite young. Martinez is 29. It's still actually reasonably quite young. Lenny Yoro. Mason Mount. Again, a player that Amorim loves, which is why I don't really want to sell him, because I think it'd be a bit unrealistic. Rasmus had a good backup season. Malacia had a good season. Dorgu out on loan had a decent season. Cunha 4-1, still getting a bit of game time. How many games is he getting now that he's not locked in? 26. That's still a lot of games to play over a Premier League season. So that goes to show they are still getting fair treatment. Now, looking at this, we're losing Xerxes, so we now have Mbeumo and Højlund as our strikers. The options here is to maybe keep Mbeumo as a backup and bring in a striker, Højlund the official backup, and Mbeumo sort of third rotation, as we could also train him to play centrally. That could be an option. We could also sell Mbeumo or sell Højlund and bring in a star-studded striker. It all depends who's on the market, and also it depends who we can get with £80 million, quite a generous budget. I will say the debts and loans have come down an absolute ton. I still focus to bring them down as much as I can, while not sabotaging the rebuild in terms of trophy wins. So I think logically, the next step is to probably sign a goalkeeper, because I don't really want Onana. In a dreamland, I could sell him for a little bit of money, and we could bring in another goalkeeper. Of course, we've already talked about the striker. I think for now, the midfield is somewhat okay, but again, down the line, Ugarte is only going to get older. The wing-back situation, it depends who's on the market, because wing-backs have got quite a historic known being of they're just expensive. They're very expensive in this game, so we might not have the money to do it this season. Let's get into the next window and see what we can do. But Cole Palmer, what a signing. Well, we got the money for Luke Shaw. Just as I asked, they paid, and we managed to absolutely, well, to be honest, somewhat maybe scam them. £81 million is what we're going to get. We more than recover our money. I will say, he is actually like a world-class wing-back in the game last season, so the money's quite justified, to be honest. It's a big name for the Saudi League, which obviously is their reason for spending that amount of money, and that gives us quite a fair budget to replace him with. Or maybe we don't replace him and I stick to my word and put Dorgu there. What am I going to do? Xerxes does go to Chelsea for the agreed £32 million, where he falls off a cliff in terms of performance. New goalkeeper, new settings. It is going to be Restes, a 23-year-old goalkeeper who I did lock in over Onana just so he got the game time, and he actually done quite well. 21 clean sheets in 36 appearances, a decent average rating, and any FM players, you'll agree with me here. You know what you're going to get with him. Consistency. And for 62 million, we are going to pick up Malik, coming in from AC Milan, a very handy player, as not only did he cost me what I would say a fair amount of money, he can also play left back, centre back and right back and DM. He can play in 4 positions. A model citizen, he is a bit on the older side, age 26, but he's very well rounded. Now, to be honest with you, he's not got the pace for me to play as a left back or right back, but the fact is, if we were in an emergency situation, he could do it. That's all that I need. I need that in the back of my head that we have got the players that could do it. Would he be a world-class left back, right back? I don't think so. Would he be able to play in DM? Yeah, I think he would. He's got the work rate. He's got okay stamina. He's strong, good passing, good tackling. He could play centre-back or DM, so pretty much a double signing. And we are back on top in the Premier League, and it was pretty scrappy because we win 23 games, draw 10, lose 5, and we still get the job done. only by 2 points, and once again, the striker situation has not redeemed itself, as Cole Palmer is going to be our top goal scorer, 4th top goal scorer in the league. Malacia is going to be in there in the assists, and Restes is going to pick up the most clean sheets, which is quite the statement for a new goalkeeper to make. Martinez done it, Restes done it, which is really cool to see, but I do think the eyes are now on that striker position. I think that's become quite obvious. Is it? Because apparently Mbeumo has been listening to my claims, and in the Carabao Cup final, he is going to be the man responsible for winning this game 1-0 in the 24th minute over Fulham. As for the Super Cup, a chance to actually lift it, we don't sadly. Juventus a little bit too strong on the day. The FA Cup, a quarter-final exit against Liverpool. Again, they curse us in these games. And the Champions League, a quarter-final exit. So, do you know what? It's a decent season, okay? Premier League win again, Carabao Cup win again. I would have liked to win the Super Cup as well, but you can't always get what you want. Now, I would like to say, I want to try and achieve the Champions League in the next couple of seasons, because I think now it's becoming a bit more obvious what we need to do. Like the Carabao Cup, I know Mbeumo got the game-winning goal, but realistically, he scored 16 goals in the season. Rasmus scored 12. We don't have an absolute bagsman. We don't have one. Cole Palmer is our bagsman, but he shouldn't just be our only bagsman. Our striker should be scoring 30 goals, in my opinion, over an entire season, if we do get to the latter stages of loads of competitions. 7 and 19 coming in for Malacia. I mean, 14 and 11 for Xavi Simons. It's not looking too bad, but still room for improvement. But yeah, so I mean, looking at the players, I think realistically we are on a very strong path, but we just have got a little bit to go. And that's completely fine. We're still quite early on into the rebuild. We're not even into 2030 yet, so we've got time, and hopefully we're going to have a budget to play with. We are going to have a budget of a decent amount, to be fair. £86 million. I can work with that, and I think me and you are probably thinking the same thing right now. The striker has got to be sort of looked into. And that's not even an insult to Mbeumo, because ever since he has been here, he's been doing his thing, okay? He's done very well. Last season was probably his worst season at the club, apart from this year. But he's been a pretty influential player. But I just feel that when you talk about winning Champions Leagues, winning Premier Leagues in that same season, you need a bagsman, not someone that can just score 15 to 20 goals. We're going to sign one player this window. No players going out of any sort of worth to us. So, and the one thing I will say, the guy's actually injured at the moment. 7 weeks to 3 months. Now, how long did that last? Quite a long time. He played 18 games and was flying in those games. He scored 7 goals, which is really, really good. But he got injured. And yeah, this screams Manchester United, doesn't it? We fork out for an expensive striker, and there's an issue in the way. But he looks really, really good, so I hope he makes a full recovery, because when he was playing, the guy was flying. But we have maintained the Premier League title that I wasn't actually expecting after seeing our star signing actually become injured. Cole Palmer is doing everything. Top most player of the matches, top goal scorer, best average rating, most clean sheets from Restes. I mean, the signings we're making are absolutely sensational, but it's just a shame that that new striker couldn't get a clear run, because I'm surprised we've gone back to back. We're not even doing too bad in the Prem. I'm surprised we've done that, considering technically we didn't even have a player that was new that played every single game. So Cole Palmer, let me just look at you. Let me look at you. Thank you. What an absolute man you are. The FA Cup final off to Wembley against Manchester City, a big game where Dorgu is going to be starting the final. Down the left-hand side, a ball back inside into Simons, and him being loaned out may have just paid off. A great bit of performance from him down the left-hand side. Manchester City are going to bounce back though, 83 minutes. Casado, great bit of play here, back into Casado, plenty of space, driving inside, got to go alone, and that was way too much time, way too much space, and a great finish. But luckily for us, Mason Mount comes up big, winners of the FA Cup over City. Also go on to win the Friendly Cup 6-0 over Hearts, some achievement. And we are off to Wembley again for the Community Shield against Arsenal. Pavlovic is going to find Dorgu, a ball in into Dalot, and that is wing-back to wing-back. Beautiful stuff from Dorgu, beautiful stuff from Dalot. Into the second half now, where Saka is going to intercept, and that is awful from us. And Saka is absolutely world-class. Great bit of play, a cross goal, beats Restes. It's a beautiful goal, I can't even knock him. It's a great... What's a goal that is from Saka? And Arsenal have got the confidence now. 68 minutes on the clock, into Jesus. Jesus, into Saka, down the right-hand side, back across, and Arsenal have come to life. We are now going to be losing the cup final, and the pressure's on us. Where we shine. Xavi Simons, 82 minutes, a ball in, a little bit scrappy now. Scalvini back inside, into Palmer, it's very scrappy. Ugarte is going to get the equaliser in the 82nd minute, and we're going to go again. Martinez plays it back in the middle, into De Ligt. From this set piece, we are going to go with Simons into Palmer, who's going to drive into the space. Why give him the space? We've got to recover the draw. The lead is now ours. Malacia comes on. It should have been a booking from Dodu. Malacia wins it back, down the left-hand side, back into the middle, into Ugarte, and he's going to go. Oh, it's a bit lucky. It might have been a Cunha goal, but we take the trophy. And we also lift the Carabao Cup 2-2 over Liverpool as we win on penalties, meaning that is going to be 5 trophies technically in one season, 4 if you don't count the Friendly Cup. It is going to be the English quadruple done, whatever way you look at it though, which is absolutely remarkable. And I don't really care about the Champions League exit, because that is our first real dominant season in the year of 2029. Now, in terms of money, we're going to have a mad budget of close to 200 million. We've won the treble, quadruple, 5 trophies. We've won so many trophies, we deserve the money, to be honest. And I don't think we've at all been unrealistic in terms of what we've spent at all this transfer window. This one, last one, over the past few years, I think we've been quite sensible. In fact, looking at it, 57 million, 94 million, we're always sort of outloading more than what we spend, apart from this window, which the season before, of course, we have a load of money coming in. I think we've been quite sensible, to be honest with you, so we're going to take this money that we've earned and spend it to reinvest in the team. And this is where I'm confused, because I think it would be a little bit unethical of me to go and sign another striker and push this guy to the back of the queue, because he's not been given a fair chance to have a whole season. The poor guy got injured, so I'm going to give him that benefit of the doubt. What I will say is I might now look to the wing-backs, try and bring in some real young, exciting wing-backs. That could be an option, or potentially now lock in Dorgu, because he played a ton of games last season, to be fair, and he actually done quite well. So why not lock him in? He done remarkably well, guys, remarkably well. So I might even consider locking him in. Apart from that, maybe another young centre-back, because Martinez is going to be getting older, same as De Ligt. Ugarte, how old is he? He's now 28, not too old to be fair, but even just general younger players come in is what we're looking to do, you know. Building a good save file for you guys back home is also going to be a priority. Let's get into the next season, but oh man, that is nice to see. 5 trophies in one season. That's more like it. Happy that he's gone, fuming by the outcome. We are going to wave goodbye to Garnacho. The guy rejected so many offers from clubs where they were going to pay me money, including Atletico Madrid, including West Ham, who wanted him. He goes to Damak, actually, or Al Arabi on the free, which is annoying because he's a man who holds a lot of value, but he's finally out of the club. That toxic atmosphere can hopefully start to recover. We don't also have to pay his wages anymore, and he can go and hopefully have a decent career over in, what, the Qatar League? Goodbye. Diego Dallo is going to be moved on at the age of 31. Again, thank you for what you have done. He had a great part into play in that last 5 trophy winning season. He goes for 66 million, so we more than recover the money that we spent on him. He has been such a good right back for us, but again, we've got to look forward, look to the future, and for that money, we can bring in a lot younger and, without being blunt, better option. And I know I signed him before, but he is so good. Hector Fort is going to come in for 73 million, so only a fraction more than what we just made from Dallo. So it's not bad business at all. 10 assists, 4 goals, a great average rating, and he is a player that can come in, and he's got a decade of football in him alone. And we've got, what, maybe a few more years to play with him, so you can use this guy when you carry on this save file. He is such a good player. He's got great tackling, great crossing, he's quick, good anticipation, good stamina, good work rate. He can go up and down the right hand side. He can play inverted. He can play as a wing back. He can play in so many areas and can also play technically anywhere across the back line at the age of 23. And one of the best midfielders in the world, in my opinion, at the moment is going to be João Neves. He is going to come in, just preparing for the future, a little bit younger than Ugarte and slots in very nicely. He comes in, as I said, for 72 million, a very, very strong first season, not only at United, but his first time in England. Remarkable stats. I mean, mentally, physically, not so much on the technical side, but in terms of DMs, you ain't going to get much better for that money. those are two very good signings. And off to Wembley again for the FA Cup final, where we are going to see Pavlovic drive through that Arsenal midfield, play into Mbeumo. What a turn that is, and that is a little bit about what he can do. Bit worrying our striker's not starting that we signed. Is he injured again? Arsenal are going to get back into the game though with Odegaard, bat stick, and that, well, it's what Arsenal are known for, is their set pieces, and that's beautiful. But we can also score set pieces, and guess what? We can also win finals. A 2-1 win. As we also go on to just about edge over Southampton in the Carabao Cup final, make that 2 English finals, make that 2 wins. But don't make it 3. We are going to lose to Newcastle in the Community Shield 2-1, which is a shame because we could have gone back to back in that. The Champions League, I'm getting a little bit nervous because we get blitzed by Real Madrid, and that's not even the biggest issue. The biggest issue for me is we've not even really made it to a final, so we've got a few years remaining and we're not making clear progression, and that should worry you, but it worries me even more. Now, looking at the Premier League, again, it's a bit of a disappointment. We aren't going to maintain it, and I thought if there was a season where we would have maintained it, it would have been this season. 2 very good signings. Restes still doing his thing. Hector Fort doing his thing, coming in. A great season. But what I'm noticing is our striker that we signed, not last season, the season before, is not in the top goal scorers. Please tell me he's in there somewhere. He is. His 6th place. He is 6th place with 13 goals. Has he scored at least 20 over the season? He's not been locked in. Dorgu was locked in, to clarify. 6 and 19. Remarkable time. Has our striker scored over 20? Just 21 goals. Now, how many games did he play in the Premier League then? 31 and 13 goals. It's not bad. I will say it's not like remarkable. Like, it's not even that much difference to Mbeumo. I think that injury actually affected him physically and mentally, but hopefully we can keep working with him. 20 and 21 for Palmer. Simmons 18 and 19. By the way, what is this link up? What a pairing this is. 6 and 11 for Pavlovic, and Neves 3 and 6. Hector Fort 9 and 19. 10 goals from De Ligt at the back. 11 and 1 for Højlund, my backup striker. Dorgu 6 and 19. And Mbeumo 16 and 4. Statement made. He's still a man at this club. As for, where is he? Where is Mr. Cunha? I think Cunha has played his part of the team, and maybe we now look to move him on. Now, this is what I said could happen, and it might happen in real life. You literally never know. I think if we can get the money, you know, around 50 million, we sell him, bring someone younger in. Because we are now approaching 1 more year, maybe, the new gen era, where we can really, really transform this team and, you know, have a lot of fun. So let's go into the next window with the budget of 157 million. The debts and loans are still somewhat there, and I'm going to do my best to clear them before the video ends, but I still need to improve the team clearly to try and win the Champions League. Malacia, thank you for your service, but it's time to go. He's going to go to Barcelona for 29 million. We nearly double the money spent on him, so that is elite business, and we got a lot out of him in the entry seasons, but with Dorgu being quite a bright spark, we are now in a situation where we can sell him and either rely on Dorgu as a clear first team, or now have Dorgu as a bit of a backup role and bring in an elite left back. Orton didn't really work out, did he? I mean, he was okay for a couple of seasons, less and less and less game time. Luckily, we just about recover the money from the Saudi League. £78 million to bring in Yanis Giroud, our first new gen that is going to be a very solid centre-back, very strong physically, great technically, not even bad mentally either. He's 23, an elite centre-back. Remarkable stuff from him. He played 35 games, 4 goals, dropped a very good average rating, and this player, you know what you're going to get with him, okay? It is a gamble, I will say. When I say you know what you're going to get, you technically don't, because he's never played in England before. But when you sign a player with them sort of attributes, look at the pros compared to the cons, you can pretty much bank on it going semi-decent. And I've gone with the left back that I think we should have got when we had the chance in Kirkes. He's going to come in for 62 million, 4 goals, 3 assists, drops a 7.19 average rating, and is he as good as Dorgu as going forward in the game? Based off stats, in terms of over a season, no. Is he better defensively? Big thumbs up, yes. And I think winning a Champions League, you can't just have an attacking wing-back that has got like 9 tackling at this stage of the game. Hence why Kirkes is now a Red Devil. But we have dropped down once again in the Premier League, down to 3rd place. Now, I will say Hector Fort is flying in the assists. Restes having a great season. João Neves playing really well. But our striker, nowhere to be seen again. And when your striker, who is your star striker, isn't scoring at least 14 goals in the Prem, and you're trying to be a proper elite powerhouse team, I don't feel like he's the man for the job. And I think that injury in that first season impacted him big time, which worries me, because now we might be put into the same pressure situation that I was when I signed the Dutchman, which worries me a lot. FA Cup, we get to another final, but sadly we are going to lose 3-0 to Liverpool. Heartbreak. Carabao Cup is a disappointment, not in the fact that we lost, but the fact that we lost 4-0 and the fact that it's in the 3rd round. Community Shield winners on penalties over Liverpool. I'm not even going to show you the game because it was so boring, but that is now going to be 2 times in 3 years. And the Champions League. We are going to get off to a great start, I guess, over Arsenal. A 2-1 win. I say great, we just about edged it past them. Quarterfinals, a 4-1 win over Real Sociedad. Semi-finals, 4-1 over Juve, and we now play Liverpool in what I am going to call the revenge game. They have beaten us in majority of cup finals. This is the one that I care about. If they win this, I might end the video here. And there was no goals until the 93rd minute in extra time. A 0-0 game, and Bromo is going to go through in the 93rd minute and slot it and win the Champions League. Potentially. Maybe not, because Liverpool are going to score a goal 33 seconds after. Coop Miners into Doak, into Darwin Núñez, through, and we're going to penalties. How have we bottled that lead? Come on, man. First penalty, Mason Mount, getting old now, and he doesn't get old from the spot. A great penalty. Szoboszlai is going to step up. Restes, always a great penalty from Szoboszlai. And Bromo scored potentially the winning goal, which wasn't, and he scores the penalty. Incredible. Coop Miners, their new man, is going to step up. Off the post, and oh, he ain't going to watch that one back when he's older. Cunha, been at the club for ages now, and that's why. A great penalty into the bottom left. Darwin Núñez is going to step up, and it's an awful penalty, and it is looking awful for them. We're Champions League winners. We are Champions League winners in 2031. Now, that is our only trophy with the Community Shield. We don't win the Prem, we don't win the FA Cup, we don't win the Carabao Cup, but it's a big weight off my chest that we have finally won this competition, which I am ecstatic with, by the way, and that means a lot to me because we have now, I think, won everything across different seasons. We now just need to go and put them all together in the last couple of asks, which we might do, we might not. What I will say is I am going to make the decision, we have locked in Giroud, by the way, of if there's a good regen striker, we are going to sign him. Now, this man here, I like him. Me and Jason get on well, okay? We know each other, we get on well, we're good mates. But at the end of the day, I don't know if he is going to be like a striker that's going to dominate football for me, you know? Hector Fort, by the way, is a machine. 28 assists. Kirkez 6 and 9. Simmons had a great season. Palmer has never not been good since he's joined. But I think if there's a good new gen on the market striker, we snap at him, we get him, because that can be the final piece of the puzzle. Defensively, we're absolutely sound. The midfield pairing's nuts. The AMs are great. The goalkeeper's great. The striker's decent. Decent compared to great is a big difference. Going into the next season, and we've got the money. We've got £261 million. We're not talking pennies. We're talking £250 million. I'm going to go spend. Well, he didn't want a new contract, and you know what? I would have been annoyed, but similar to the City rebuild we done, where I was letting players go on the free towards the end of their career because I wanted to extract every single game out of them. That's what I've done with Martinez. He's been here now for years upon years, and he actually played 28 games in his last season, so nothing but love for this guy. He's been a great part of the team, and he can happily go and spend a few years over at Al-Shabaab now. We've got some of our own, sort of youth players of our own that look quite good, but have been poached, so I'm going to go through them because they actually are quite good players. But I noticed that our transfer budgets were quite significantly higher. I wondered who had been sold, and luckily they're sort of younger players that are good, but we definitely can go and sign better. The first one is going to be Paulo. He goes to 23 million to FC Porto. He had a spell at Hull where he didn't even do that well, so I'll happily get 20 million for him. Definitely not a wonder kid, but Mazraoui is going to go to PSG for £10 million. Again, £10 million of pure profit. And sadly, the last sort of, 4 seasons, less and less games, to the point where he played 1 game. So, I mean, to be honest with you, great player, done his piece, just time to go. And also he's injury prone. We can't have that. £72 million. We are going to prepare ourselves for an elite centre-back. And what I've done is I have brought in someone with tons of pace, because in a back three, I believe you want one player who you can have one player who's a little bit slower, but a lot more solid in terms of strength, robust player. But then you need a couple of quicker players to the left and the right. And this guy will play on the left or the right-hand side, because this guy is rapid. You are not beating him. Mbappe is not beating him. The guy is rapid. Yes, he cost me a lot of money, but have you seen a centre-back that quick? I don't know if I have. 88 million. We have picked up a Mexican new gen. The last Mexican striker I remember for United was Chicharito Hernandez, one of my favourite players. As a little fun fact, this guy looks a little bit better potentially. I mean, 17 finishing, 19 first touch. Technically, one of the most gifted players we have at Old Trafford now. Fantastic composure, great off the ball work. And he's 23, guys. He has got so many years in terms of being a player. It's unbelievable. He actually scored 16 goals in his first season in the Premier League alone. And I am excited by this guy. I think this guy can honestly help me link all the trophies together. What a man. For £67 million, we are going to sign Gonçalo Moreira, coming in from Benfica for 67, as I just said. 8 goals, 6 assists, a great average rating. And we have now got potentially one of the best AM lineups in terms of squad you will ever see in world football. This guy's a proper AM, by the way. Great passing, great technique, great dribbling, good movement. He's just a real technical player, and he's also got the pace, he's got the agility. You can't really ask for much more. And yes, it was a big window. £220 million we have just spent. We did sell some more players, so more money coming in. But we've spent, we now need results. They're back on top in the Premier League and nearly going invincible. But again, not one of our players in the top goal scoring ranks. Restes is going to be in there for the clean sheets. Cole Palmer going to be in there for the assists. Hector Fort, João Neves in there for the average rating. But when it comes to goal scorers, player stats, we are going to see Pineda, who obviously is the new gen striker with 16, which I guess isn't actually that. In fact, it's not bad at all. He's actually in joint third. So at least we've got someone up there. We are going to win the Super Cup 3-0 over Everton. That is going to be the first time winning it. So that was the only trophy that we actually hadn't won. So that was a mistake, what I said before, where I said we won everything. This was the one that we needed, and it was a good job we won that, because we win nothing else. The Champions League runners-up, this close to going back-to-back in that competition, and the FA Cup and Carabao Cup, I'm too annoyed to even look at what happened, because quarter-final against Forest, 4th round against Everton is an absolute disgrace. Money-wise, we are going to have £341 million to go into the last window with. Our debts are somewhat taken care of, although they're not really. £200 million in debt. But by the time that I finish off this transfer window, you're going to have a team where you don't need to spend money. Let me tell you that for free. Looking at our best team right now on paper, we have got Restes, Navone, Giroud, Scalvini, Fort, Pavlovic, Neves, Kirkes, Palmer, Simmons and Pineda. And on the bench, we've got Alte, De Ligt, Moreira. We've got Jason. We've got, I always butcher that second name, so Malik. We are going to have Mount, Cunha, Yoro, Yagate, Hoyland, Dorgu, Mainu, Mbuemo, Haven, Diallo, and Chido Obi Martin, who simply has not got anything going. I mean, he's been on the loan list for a long time. No one's come in for him, so that's a bit sad. But a little rest in peace moment, shall we? Because realistically, some players that just didn't really work this rebuild. Diallo didn't work, and I can't seem to sell him. Heaven didn't really work. Obi didn't really work. Yoro had a really good chance at the start, like a really good chance, but just couldn't really compete with the other options that kept coming in. Cunha done really well at the start, so that's fine. Yagate, how well did Yagate actually do in this journey? Quite well, actually, to be fair. He's been a big part of the team, maybe less and less as we go on into the future. But going into this last window, I'm going to try and keep it strictly under 23s, under 24s, try and get some younger players for the future, and just see what we can do. One of our regens is going to be sold to Wolves for a total of £29 million. Again, I can see the potential, but he would not get in my team for the next probably 6-7 years, so I may as well sell him. Another player in Brian Murray, again, very good finishing, great composure, but we have got so many strikers, and to be honest, he's 24, he's not young. You can have him for 13 million. It's another player which looks remarkable, to be honest, and I genuinely didn't even know he was in my team. I didn't see him anywhere. I may have kept him, but again, because we're in the last season, if this guy was about 4 years ago, 5 years ago, I would have taken him. But I don't think I actually even saw him then, and he goes to Bayern for 36 million. And lastly, Alte is going to get a move to the Saudi League. He's played 6 games over his entire career at United, so backup is probably the best word to say. Signing one of 6, I am going to leave you with the best save file you will see if you like new gens. The first one is going to be Nenad, coming in as our starting left back. The guy's remarkable. He's got the pace, he's got the mental work, he's got the technical work. He is a great player at the age of 24. He cost me 49 million and returned me 11 assists in season 1. And I'm going to say it, one of the best left backs in this save. 54 million, we are going to pick up a younger Marc Massey, coming in from how do you say that? I don't want to butcher the name. He comes in as pretty much a future player. I got a bit annoyed that we lost the previous player that we just sold who went to Bayern, and thought, I want a young prodigy of my own. So this is a man for the future, a bit of a rotational vibe. But when he comes on, just expect a great passing range. 57 million, we are going to pick up Eduardo Ferri, coming in of a very, very versatile man. He was brought in to actually play in midfield, but also he can play as wing-back. So a bit of a young James Milner, a very good player, very good when it comes to the attributes as well. 25, set me back a bit of money, but over the next decade or the next 6-7 years in your team, he should get a lot of game time. 57 million, we are going to pick up Franco, coming in from Newcastle for 47, 8 goal contributions, not a new gen, but a very young player who screams out an AM, right? He's got great technical attributes, great physically, and is just an option for when, you know, Palmer and Simmons get a little bit too old and maybe start to fall off a little bit. You can welcome in Franco. £3 million, we are going to pick up a backup goalkeeper. Nothing too much to talk about, but it's just to have a goalkeeper that's good as backup. And lastly, for 36 million, we can welcome in a backup right back to Hector 4, a very good backup right back. That is going to be Van Driel, coming in from Tottenham for 31 million. Doesn't do too much in the season, but that completes a £240 million window where 5 players were new gens. We've got a great non-new gen player as well. We've offloaded a few of our own, and genuinely I think we have done very well over this entire transfer windows. The past decade's been brilliant. I think we've kept it well within our means. I think this might be our biggest window. This is our biggest window to finish it off, and that is just to prepare the future for you guys more than anything. But after spending 240 million, I'll be lying if I'm going to say that I wouldn't expect to win something. Up in style, winning the Premier League by quite a comfortable amount of points. Pineda and Palmer in the top goal scoring ranks. Restes is going to be in there. Nenad's going to be in there when it comes to the assists. And we managed to win the Premier League a lot more than what I thought, actually, to be honest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Pretty much a 50% ratio. I'm going to take that with Manchester United because there was a lot of rebuilding. World Cup, sadly, we can't quite close out in style. We are going to be winners of that a staggering 4 times, which again, I will take. The FA Cup we do win in the end, in 2-1 fashion over Palace. We have now won that trophy 3 times. Maybe could have done a little bit better in that one, but still 3 is acceptable. Community Shield we are going to win, and I feel we have won that 3 times. 3 times we have won it. We could have won it 6 times, so maybe a bit better in the finals on that one as well, but I guess it's 3. And the Champions League is a big, big loss, as we are going to go out in the round of 16, where I feel like the Champions League we could have won a couple more times potentially in the right circumstance, but overall I am happy what we have done. This United rebuild is so much more than just, how can I say it? It's much more than trophies, okay? Yes, it plays a big part. Trophies, if you don't win them, have you even rebuilt correctly? No. But this comes down to leaving a team after a decade that can go on to achieve big things. And I think this team can. We look at the team on paper right now. Our best 11 is remarkable. It also features 2 new gens right off the bat, Most of our backup players are now young new gen players, so you're covered for the next 3-4 years. When it comes to the money, you've got a big budget. The debts and loans, there's still a bit in there, but you can easily have a window, if not two, of using the players I've left you. You've got great players to use. You've still got some familiar faces in the squad from day one, which is always nice to see. And the team's remarkable. I mean, a lot of these players are 4-star and above. It's a great, great team that you've been left with. And I think we can be happy, you know, a perfect reputation club. We're looking at a trophy cabinet now that is literally going towards its peak. A great time at the club. Champions League's added back in. Loads of Premier League titles. And it means a lot to me, this rebuild. So hopefully you have enjoyed. And if you do, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. If you do want to get the save file and the tactic, you can go and check out the Patreon as well. And just let me know what you think, guys, because I'm still fairly new to rebuild, so however you leave a comment, even if you say, Josh, this was poor, do this, I don't take offence. I try and learn from your comments, because I want to go into the next FM making sure you get exactly what you want. And I have fun with rebuilds. I know sometimes maybe I go off the path a little bit and pick up a player that you would never see in a United shirt, which is why we are going to do realism rebuilds at some point as well. But for now, I'm just having a bit of fun. FM's been delayed, United need a bit of help, and I thought, you know what? I'll get myself around, get the job done. See you in the next one.